I'm going to tell you something that will change how you think about going into the wilderness alone. What happened to me and my research team in the Cascade Mountains 3 years ago? It shouldn't be possible. But I have the footage. I have the audio recordings. And I have scars that will never fade. My name is Dr. Sarah Chen, and I used to be a behavioral ecologist specializing in predator-prey relationships. Used to be, because after what we discovered in those mountains, I can't even look at wildlife footage anymore without my hands shaking. This story starts with what everyone thought was a simple research grant. The University of Washington had received funding to study the impact of climate change on large predator migration patterns in the North Cascades. Standard stuff: camera traps, GPS tracking, behavioral observation. We were supposed to spend 6 weeks documenting wolf pack movements and their interaction with changing prey populations. There were 4 of us on the team. Myself as the lead researcher, Dr. Marcus Webb, our wildlife photographer and videographer, Jenny Kowalski, our graduate student specializing in animal behavior, and Tom Bradley, our guide and wilderness survival expert who'd been working these mountains for over 20 years. The plan was straightforward. We'd establish a base camp near Blackwater Creek, about 40 miles northeast of the nearest road access, and conduct our research in a grid pattern covering roughly 50 square miles of pristine wilderness. The area had been chosen specifically because it was so remote. Minimal human interference, established wolf populations, and an ecosystem that had remained largely unchanged for centuries. What we didn't know was that we weren't the first research team to work that area. What we didn't know was that the previous team had disappeared without a trace 18 months earlier, and that the official report had been classified by the Forest Service. We should have asked more questions about why such a prime research location was suddenly available. The hike in took us 2 full days. Tom led us along old mining trails that hadn't been maintained since the 1960s, through terrain that got progressively more challenging as we moved deeper into the wilderness. The forest changed as we climbed higher. It was massive, at least 18 inches long and 7 inches wide at the ball of the foot. The depth of the impression suggested something incredibly heavy, and the track showed 5 distinct toes with what appeared to be claw marks at the tips. "Bear?" Jenny suggested, though her voice carried uncertainty. Tom shook his head slowly. "Wrong shape. Bears have a longer, narrower print. And look at the stride length." He gestured to another print about 5 feet away. Whatever made this was walking upright. Marcus immediately started taking photographs while I documented the measurements and location coordinates. The print was fresh, made within the last day or 2 based on the crispness of the edges and the fact that the recent rain hadn't washed away the details. "Could be a hoax," I said, trying to maintain scientific objectivity. Hikers sometimes make fake prints to stir up excitement. But even as I said it, I knew it didn't feel right. We were miles from any established trail, in terrain that most recreational hikers would never attempt to navigate. And the depth of the impression suggested genuine weight distribution, not the shallow marks you'd get from a fake foot or casting. We followed the trail for another half mile before losing it on rocky ground. The stride was consistent, long, purposeful steps that suggested whatever made the prints knew exactly where it was going. At one point, the tracks led us to a tree where the bark had been stripped away, about 8 feet from the ground, revealing fresh white wood underneath. "Territory marking?" Jenny suggested. Tom examined the stripped bark closely. "Maybe. But look at these gouges. 4 parallel lines, deep enough to reach the heartwood. I've never seen claw marks like this before." We made camp that evening about 2 miles from where we'd found the prints, in a clearing beside Blackwater Creek that provided good visibility in all directions. Standard protocol when you're not sure what kind of wildlife you're dealing with. That first night, lying in my tent and listening to the sounds of the forest, I found myself analyzing every noise with the hypervigilance of someone who'd realized They might not be at the top of the food chain anymore. The creek provided constant white noise, but underneath it, I could hear other sounds. Branches snapping in the distance. The occasional call of "Whatever did this has opposable thumbs," Marcus observed, documenting the evidence. "And it understands how latches work." More unsettling were the tracks we found circling our campsite. The same massive prints we'd discovered the day before, but these showed that the creature had spent considerable time observing us. The tracks formed a complete circuit around our camp, always staying just at the edge of our clearing, suggesting intelligence and caution. "It was watching us sleep," Jenny said, her voice barely above a whisper. For the first time since we'd entered the wilderness, Tom looked genuinely concerned. In 30 years of guiding, I've never seen animal behavior like this. Bears might investigate a campsite, but they don't conduct surveillance. We should have packed up and left right then. Every instinct I had as both a scientist and a human being was telling me that we were in over our heads. But we were researchers, and we'd stumbled onto something that could revolutionize our understanding of North American megafauna. The possibility that an unknown large primate might still exist in the Pacific Northwest was too significant to abandon without proper investigation. We spent the next 3 days documenting everything we could find. More tracks, additional trees marked with those distinctive claw gouges, and what appeared to be constructed shelters. Crude but effective lean-tos made from interwoven branches that showed clear evidence of intelligent design. Marcus's camera equipment captured everything in high definition. We had hours of footage documenting track casts, the territorial markings, and the shelter constructions. More importantly, we had evidence that whatever was making these signs was actively avoiding direct contact while maintaining constant awareness of our presence. "It's studying us," Jenny observed on the 4th day, reviewing footage from our trail cameras. "Look at this." The night vision video showed a massive bipedal figure approaching one of our remote cameras. The creature moved with surprising grace for something so large, and most remarkably, it examined the camera with obvious curiosity, even adjusting the angle slightly before moving on. "That's tool use," I said, watching the playback. "It understands the camera's function and modified its positioning for optimal coverage. Or it's redirecting our surveillance away from something it doesn't want us to see," Tom added grimly. That night, Marcus was already awake and recording when I emerged from my tent. "It's been going on for about 10 minutes, he whispered. "At least 3 different voices, possibly more. Through our night vision equipment, we could see shapes moving in the tree line. Massive bipedal figures that seemed to fade in and out of visibility as they moved between the trees. They maintained their distance, but there was something unmistakably purposeful about their positioning. "They're surrounding us," Tom observed, his rifle held ready but not aimed. Classic hunting formation. The vocalizations continued for another 20 minutes before gradually fading away. But we could all feel that we were still being watched, that the creatures hadn't left, but had simply chosen to become invisible again. None of us slept for the rest of the night. In the morning, we discovered that our perimeter had been breached. Not violently. There were no signs of aggression or territorial challenge. Instead, we found small gifts placed strategically around our campsite. Interesting stones arranged in geometric patterns. Bundles of edible plants tied with grass cordage. Even what appeared to be carved pieces of wood. Primitive, but clearly shaped by intelligent hands. "First contact protocol," I said, examining one of the carved items. It was a piece of cedar, shaped into something that might have been a tool, or possibly just artistic expression. The workmanship was crude, but showed clear evidence of planning and execution. "They're trying to communicate," Jenny added. "This is trading behavior." Tom was less optimistic. "Or it's appeasement behavior. They might be trying to convince us to leave their territory without confrontation." We documented everything and carefully collected the gifts, leaving our own offerings in return. Energy bars, metal tools, even one of our backup cameras. If these creatures were attempting communication, We had a scientific obligation to respond appropriately. That decision probably saved our lives, though it would cost us dearly. The creatures returned that night, and this time they were bolder. Our infrared cameras captured them moving through our camp while we slept, examining our equipment with obvious curiosity. They handled our tools, investigated our tents, even seemed to understand the function of our scientific instruments. Most remarkably, one of the creatures spent nearly an hour examining Marcus's camera. We found her equipment first: cameras, GPS unit, and radio scattered across a small clearing, as if she'd dropped them in a hurry. There were signs of a struggle, but not the kind you'd expect from a predator attack. No blood, no torn clothing, no evidence of violence. Instead, we found those massive footprints leading away from the scene, along with smaller human prints walking alongside them. "She's alive," Tom said, studying the tracks. "Whatever took her, she's walking under her own power." We followed the trail for 6 hours, pushing through terrain that became increasingly difficult to navigate. The tracks led us deep into a part of the forest that felt older, more primordial than anything we'd encountered before. The trees were massive, ancient giants that created a canopy so dense that it felt like walking through a natural cathedral. Eventually, the trail led us to a cliff face where a hidden canyon cut deep into the mountainside. We could hear water running far below, and somewhere in the distance, those same complex vocalizations we'd heard during our nights at base camp. But we could also hear something else. A human voice, calling out in what sounded like conversation with the creature sounds. Jenny was alive, and from the tone of her voice, she wasn't in immediate distress. "Jenny!" I called down into the canyon. The response was immediate. Both the human voice and the creature vocalizations stopped abruptly, followed by a long period of silence. Then Jenny's voice drifted up from the depths, barely audible, but clearly words. "Sarah, don't come down here. You need to leave. All of you need to leave right now." "Are you hurt?" Tom called back. "I'm fine, but you don't understand what this is, what they are. You have to go back to camp and destroy all the footage, all of it." Before we could respond, we heard movement in the canyon below. Not just one creature, but many. The sound of multiple large beings moving through the forest with obvious coordination and purpose. "They're coming up," Tom said grimly, checking his rifle. "Whatever's down there, they don't want us here." We had a choice to make. Try to reach Jenny and potentially face creatures that could easily overpower us in their own territory. We had evidence of creatures that shouldn't exist, a missing team member who was apparently communicating with them, and the growing certainty that we were in way over our heads. That's when we discovered the final piece of the puzzle. Hidden among our reorganized equipment was something that hadn't belonged to us. A weathered field notebook filled with handwritten research notes dating back 2 years. The name on the cover was Dr. Amanda Price, the lead researcher from the team that had disappeared 18 months earlier. Her notes documented encounters identical to ours, but spanning weeks rather than days. She had made contact with the creatures, learned rudimentary communication, and discovered something that had fundamentally changed her understanding of Pacific Northwest wildlife. The final entry in her notebook was dated just 3 days before her team's disappearance. "They're not what we thought. Not primitive remnants or evolutionary holdovers. They've been here longer than we have, developed their own culture, their own technology, adapted to forest environments. They've been watching human expansion for centuries, staying hidden, protecting themselves. But something has changed. Climate change is forcing them out of their traditional territories. They need help, and they've chosen to reveal themselves to researchers who might understand their situation, rather than exploit it. Dr. Webb thinks I've lost objectivity, but I know what I've seen. These beings have language, social structure, Technology we don't recognize because it's based on biological rather than mechanical principles. They're not animals. They're people. Different from us, but people nonetheless. Tomorrow I'm going to attempt formal contact. If something happens to our team, whoever finds this needs to understand. They're not dangerous unless threatened. They're refugees in their own homeland, and we might be their last hope for survival. The notebook ended there, but the implications were staggering. We weren't dealing with unknown animals. We were dealing with an indigenous people who had managed to remain hidden while human civilization expanded around them. And now, climate change and habitat destruction were forcing them to make contact, to seek help from the very species that had been unknowingly driving them toward extinction. The night vision footage from our 7th day showed something that none of us had witnessed directly. While we slept, at least a dozen of the creatures had gathered at the edge of our clearing. They stood in what appeared to be formal formation, with the largest individuals in front and smaller ones arranged behind them. And they were holding tools, not crude implements, but sophisticated equipment that we couldn't immediately identify. Curved wooden implements that might have been weapons or instruments, woven items that could have been containers or communication devices. Most unsettling of all was their posture and arrangement. They stood like soldiers, like an organized force evaluating a potential threat. They've been watching us every night, Marcus continued, scrolling through hours of footage. Learning our routines, studying our equipment, planning something. That's when we heard the helicopters. 2 military aircraft appeared over our campsite within minutes of each other, landing in the clearing with precision that suggested they'd been monitoring our location for some time. Soldiers emerged before the rotors had stopped spinning, followed by individuals in civilian clothing, who immediately began securing our equipment and footage. "Dr. Chen?" The apparent leader approached me with the confident stride of someone accustomed to taking control of situations. "I'm Agent Morrison, Department of Interior. We need you and your team to come with us immediately." "Our graduate student is missing," I protested. "She's somewhere in that canyon with those creatures." Agent Morrison's expression didn't change. "Ms. Kowalski is safe and has been extracted. All your equipment and research materials will be secured for analysis. This site is now under federal jurisdiction." Before any of us could argue, we were hustled aboard the helicopters and airlifted out of the wilderness. The last thing I saw of Blackwater Creek was our campsite being systematically dismantled by teams of specialists who worked with the efficiency of people who'd done this before. The debriefing lasted 3 days and took place in a facility I was never able to identify. Jenny was there, physically unharmed but clearly changed by whatever she'd experienced during her time with the creatures. She couldn't or wouldn't discuss details, but her eyes held a knowledge that hadn't been there before. They'd been watching human scientific expeditions for decades, looking for individuals who might help rather than exploit. The official report classified our research under national security provisions. All our footage and data were confiscated, our findings sealed, and we were required to sign comprehensive non-disclosure agreements backed by federal law. The cover story was simple. Our research expedition had encountered dangerous weather conditions and been evacuated for safety. Jenny's disappearance was explained as a hiking accident with successful rescue. The creatures, the contact, the evidence of an unknown people living in the North Cascades, none of it officially existed. But I kept copies of everything. Not the original footage, that was too closely monitored. But I had backup drives that the federal agents had missed, hidden camera memories that survived their sweep of our equipment. Enough evidence to prove that something extraordinary had happened in those mountains. For 2 years, I tried to resume normal academic life. I published papers on climate change and predator behavior. I taught graduate courses and supervised research projects. But I couldn't forget what we'd discovered, and I couldn't shake the feeling that by staying silent, I was betraying both scientific integrity and a people who had trusted us with their existence. The nightmares started about 6 months after we returned. Dreams where I was back in the forest, hearing those complex vocalizations, seeing those massive shapes moving between the trees. But in my dreams, they weren't trying to communicate anymore. They were running, fleeing from something that was destroying everything in its path. I started researching missing persons cases in the Cascade Range, looking for patterns that might suggest other contact incidents. What I found was disturbing. Dozens of disappearances over the past decade, all in remote wilderness areas, all involving experienced outdoors people who should have known better than to get lost. But I also found something else. Survivors. People who'd had encounters with something in the wilderness, but had been too afraid of ridicule to report what they'd really seen. Hunters who'd found camps that couldn't have been made by humans. Hikers who'd heard vocalizations that didn't match any known animal species. Climbers who'd seen figures watching them from impossible vantage points on sheer cliff faces. The creatures weren't just random unknown animals. They were an organized people with their own culture, territory, and survival strategies that had evolved over centuries of coexistence with human expansion. They had been managing their revelation carefully, choosing when and how to make contact with humans who might be able to help them adapt to changing conditions. But something had gone wrong. Climate change was accelerating faster than they could adapt. Human expansion was destroying critical habitats faster than they could relocate. They were facing extinction, and their attempts to seek help through controlled contact with sympathetic researchers were being shut down by agencies more concerned with maintaining secrecy than preserving an ancient people. 3 months ago, I made the decision to go public with everything I had. I uploaded the footage to multiple platforms simultaneously: YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, Twitter, anywhere that content might survive attempts at suppression. I included Dr. Price's journal entries, our audio recordings of the vocalizations, and documentation of the federal cover-up. The response was immediate and overwhelming. The footage went viral within hours, generating millions of views before the platforms began removing content for policy violations. Mainstream media picked up the story, though most coverage focused on debunking rather than investigation. Federal agents visited my university, my home, and my family. I was placed on administrative leave pending investigation of my research practices. My academic credentials were questioned, my mental health was evaluated, and my access to university resources was suspended. But the footage survived. Copies had been downloaded and redistributed faster than they could be removed. Independent researchers began analyzing the evidence, and several credible scientists came forward to support the authenticity of our documentation. More importantly, other witnesses began speaking out. People who'd had their own encounters with the hidden people finally felt safe to share their experiences. A picture began to emerge of a widespread indigenous population that had been living parallel to human society for centuries, managing their revelation carefully while seeking help for their survival. The federal response was swift and comprehensive. A disinformation campaign labeled the footage as an elaborate hoax created using CGI and professional film techniques. My background was investigated and publicized. Jenny stood on my doorstep, looking older than her years, carrying a backpack that suggested she'd been traveling for some time. She'd left her graduate program the year before and had apparently been living off the grid since then. "They want to meet with you," she said without preamble. "The elders. They've decided that the time for secrecy is over." "Meet with me? Where?" "Same place as before, Blackwater Creek. But this time, they want to establish formal contact, not just with researchers, but with human leadership. They need allies if they're going to survive the changes that are coming." I should have said no. My career was already destroyed, my reputation ruined, my safety compromised. Getting involved further would only make things worse. But these people, because that's what they are, people, had trusted us with their existence once before. They had revealed themselves to researchers who they hoped would understand and help rather than exploit and endanger. We failed them then by allowing the government to suppress their story. I couldn't fail them again. Last week I returned to the Cascade Mountains, not alone this time, and not in secret. I brought journalists, independent videographers, representatives from indigenous rights organizations, and environmental scientists who understood the implications of climate refugee populations. The federal agencies tried to stop us. Roadblocks, permit requirements, even threats of arrest for trespassing on restricted land. But we had legal representation and public attention. The story had grown too large to be suppressed quietly. We reached Blackwater Creek on a clear morning in late September. The forest looked exactly as I remembered it. Ancient, imposing, and somehow aware of our presence from the moment we entered its borders. They were waiting for us, not hiding in the shadows or maintaining their distance, but standing openly in the clearing where we'd once made camp. At least 20 individuals of varying sizes, arranged in what was clearly a formal delegation. The largest individual stepped forward as we approached, standing at least 9 feet tall, covered in dark hair, but with clearly human-like facial features, wearing what appeared to be ceremonial decorations made from carved wood and woven plant fibers. When it spoke, the leader gestured to the other members of the delegation, indicating individuals of different ages and apparent roles within their society. But now the hiding is no longer possible. The forests they depend on are disappearing. The climate is changing too quickly for them to adapt quietly. They need help, and they've decided to trust us with their survival. Over the next 4 hours, we documented the most comprehensive first contact between human society and an unknown indigenous people in recorded history. The Saskets demonstrated their technology, their social structure, their understanding of forest ecology that surpassed anything in human scientific literature. They showed us tools and techniques that had allowed them to live sustainably in these mountains for millennia, building techniques that worked with living trees rather than cutting them down, food cultivation methods that enhanced rather than depleted forest ecosystems. Even what appeared to be primitive but effective medical knowledge based on plant compounds we'd never identified. Most remarkably, they demonstrated cognitive abilities that challenged our understanding of intelligence and communication. Complex mathematical concepts expressed through arranging natural objects. Historical knowledge passed down through generations without written language. Even artistic expression that combined visual, auditory, and tactile elements in ways that human art had never achieved. These weren't primitive remnants of evolutionary development. They were people with their own science, their own culture, their own sophisticated understanding of the world that had developed in parallel to human civilization. And they were dying. Climate change had disrupted migration patterns they'd followed for centuries. Human development had fragmented their territories. Pollution had contaminated water sources critical to their survival. In the past 50 years, their population had declined from several thousand to fewer than 300 individuals scattered across the Pacific Northwest. They had revealed themselves to researchers like us because they had no other options left. Their traditional survival strategies weren't sufficient for the pace of environmental change they were now facing. They needed advocates, allies, and ultimately, integration with human society if they were going to survive. The footage from that meeting has now been seen by millions of people worldwide. Unlike the previous leaked videos, this was documented by multiple independent sources with professional equipment and credible witnesses from outside the scientific community. Environmental groups have rallied around the Saskets situation as the ultimate example of climate change impact on indigenous peoples. Legal advocates are working to establish their rights as a previously unrecognized native population. But the most important changes have been in the scientific community. Researchers worldwide are re-examining evidence that had been dismissed as hoaxes or misidentifications. Anthropologists are developing new theories about parallel human development. Ecologists are studying Sasket's land management techniques that could help restore damaged forest ecosystems. We're at the beginning of a transformation in how we understand our place in the world. For centuries, humans have assumed we were the only intelligent species on Earth, the only people capable of culture, technology, and complex society. We were wrong. The Saskets have been here all along, sharing the planet with us, adapting to our expansion while protecting their own survival through concealment. Now, forced into the open by environmental pressures beyond their control, they're teaching us that intelligence takes many forms, and that wisdom often comes from those who've learned to live sustainably rather than dominantly. But there are others. That's what keeps me awake at night now. If one hidden people managed to survive undetected for centuries, how many others might there be? How many different intelligent species have we shared this planet with without ever knowing they existed? The Saskets speak of the others, different peoples adapted to different environments, ocean dwellers who've remained hidden in the deepest parts of the sea, underground civilizations that developed in cave systems we've never fully explored, even aerial peoples who live in ways we can't imagine. Contact with the Saskets wasn't the end of discovery. It was the beginning. We're about to learn that Earth is far more populated with intelligent life than we ever suspected, and that human civilization has been just one thread in a much larger tapestry of consciousness and culture. The question now is whether we're wise enough to handle that knowledge, whether we can learn to coexist with peoples we've been unconsciously displacing, or whether our fear and arrogance will drive them to extinction, just as they've finally trusted us with their existence. 3 years ago, I pray they're right, because if we fail them, we'll have lost more than just another species to extinction. We'll have lost the chance to learn from people who understood how to live sustainably on Earth, long before we forgot how. And once they're gone, we may never get that knowledge back. The footage is still out there. The evidence continues to grow. The Saskets are no longer hidden, and other peoples are beginning to consider whether the time for concealment has ended for them too. We're living through the most significant expansion of human understanding since we learned that Earth wasn't the center of the universe. We're about to discover that we're not alone on our own planet, and that intelligence comes in forms we never imagined possible. The question is, what are we going to do with that knowledge? Because they're watching us, all of them. The hidden peoples of Earth are observing how we treat the Saskets, how we respond to the revelation that we share this world with others like us. Our reaction will determine whether first contact leads to cooperation and mutual learning, or whether fear and prejudice drive the last of Earth's hidden peoples back into concealment, where they'll inevitably face extinction alone. The choice is ours, and we're running out of time to make it. Dr. Sarah Chen, Field Report, October 15th, 2028. The world changed on a Tuesday morning in March, when the Saskets weren't the only ones who decided to step into the light. 6 months had passed since our formal contact at Blackwater Creek. The footage had sparked a global phenomenon: documentaries, scientific expeditions, and, unfortunately, trophy hunters and thrill seekers who saw the Saskets as entertainment rather than people. We've been working around the clock with legal teams and environmental groups to establish protected status for their remaining territories. That's when the ocean began to speak. I was in my temporary office at the Pacific Northwest Research Institute. My old university position was still tied up in legal proceedings, when Jenny burst through the door with her laptop clutched against her chest. "Sarah, you need to see this," she said, her voice carrying that same urgency I remembered from our days in the mountains. "It's happening again. But this time, it's not just the forests." The video she showed me had been captured by a deep-sea research vessel off the coast of Oregon. And movement. Figures swimming between the structures with grace that no human could achieve. even with advanced diving equipment. Humanoid in shape, but clearly adapted for deep ocean living. Elongated limbs, what appeared to be gill slits along their necks, and most remarkably, tools that functioned perfectly in the high-pressure environment. The research team tried to make contact, Jenny explained, playing another video clip. They used sound frequencies, light patterns, even attempted to manipulate objects outside their sub to show intelligence. The response had been immediate. The ocean dwellers, for lack of a better term, had approached the submersible with obvious curiosity. They examined it thoroughly, and one individual had placed what appeared to be a carved piece of coral against the viewing window before retreating. The coral artifact was brought to the surface, and analysis revealed it to be far more complex than anything found in nature. Microscopic examination showed geometric patterns carved with incredible precision, incorporating mathematical sequences that human mathematicians were still trying to understand. "They're trying to communicate," Jenny said, "just like the Saskets did with us, but the ocean contact was just the beginning." Within days of the deep-sea footage going viral, reports began flooding in from around the world. Cave systems in Kentucky, where spelunkers had discovered carved tunnels that descended far deeper than natural formation should allow. The explorers reported hearing structured sounds echoing from depths their equipment couldn't reach, and finding worked stone artifacts that predated any known human civilization. Mountaineering expeditions in the Himalayas encountered figures moving across impossible terrain, at altitudes where no known life should survive. The beings appeared perfectly adapted to the extreme cold and thin atmosphere, leaving tracks in snow that suggested technology we couldn't identify. Even urban areas weren't immune. In the extensive tunnel systems beneath major cities, maintenance workers began reporting encounters with individuals who seemed to belong to underground communities that had developed parallel to human civilization. These weren't homeless populations. They were organized societies with their own infrastructure, built into spaces humans had assumed were empty. The pattern was undeniable. The Saskets hadn't been unique. Earth was home to multiple intelligent species that had evolved. Emergency conferences were called, research teams were rapidly assembled, and governments worldwide struggled to develop policies for situations they'd never imagined. I found myself at the center of it all, not because I was the most qualified researcher, but because I was the only one who'd actually established successful communication with a previously unknown intelligent species. The calls started coming in immediately. The United Nations wanted me to head up a first contact committee. Various governments offered positions in hastily created departments for non-human intelligence liaison. Documentary filmmakers and book publishers competed with increasingly ridiculous offers for exclusive rights to my story. But the most important call came from an unexpected source. Dr. Chen. The voice on the phone was gravelly, older, with an accent I couldn't immediately place. "My name is Dr. Yuki Tanaka. I've been working with unusual populations for longer than I care to admit. We need to meet." Dr. Tanaka, it turned out, had been documenting contact with hidden peoples for over 30 years. Operating under deep government classification, she'd been part of a small, secretive team tasked with managing encounters that couldn't be publicly acknowledged. We met at a coffee shop in downtown Seattle that she'd chosen for its acoustic properties. Our conversation couldn't be overheard or recorded by electronic surveillance. "The Saskets were never the secret," she told me quietly. "The secret was that we've known about all of them for decades. Different agencies, different departments, all keeping pieces of information that were never allowed to connect." She showed me files that documented contacts going back to the 1950s. Ocean dwellers first encountered by military submarines during the Cold War. Underground peoples discovered during deep mining operations. High-altitude adapted beings spotted by reconnaissance flights over restricted airspace. Every contact was classified, contained, and suppressed, Dr. Tanaka continued. "We told ourselves it was for national security, to prevent panic, to maintain social stability. But really, we were protecting ourselves from having to acknowledge that we weren't as alone or as special as we wanted to believe. The hidden peoples had been trying to establish communication for decades. They'd approached military personnel, researchers, explorers, anyone who might have the authority to facilitate contact between. Pollution was contaminating the underground water systems that sustained the cave civilizations. Even the high-altitude peoples were being forced from their traditional territories as weather patterns shifted and mountain ecosystems collapsed. They've decided that secrecy is no longer an option, she explained. If they stay hidden, they'll go extinct. If they reveal themselves, they at least have a chance that some humans will help rather than exploit them. But there was something else, something that Dr. Tanaka seemed reluctant to discuss until I pressed her directly. There's a reason they're all making contact simultaneously, she finally admitted. They communicate with each other, have been for centuries. There's a network we never knew existed, connecting all the hidden peoples across the planet. The implications were staggering. While humans had been developing technology to connect our scattered civilizations, the hidden peoples had maintained communication networks based on principles we didn't understand. They'd been coordinating, sharing information, and collectively managing their relationship with human expansion. They've been holding councils, Dr. Tanaka continued. Representatives from all the different peoples meeting to discuss how to handle the human situation. The decision to reveal themselves wasn't made independently. It was a coordinated strategy agreed upon by all the hidden civilizations. Which meant that contact with the Saskets hadn't been an isolated first contact event. It had been the opening move in a carefully planned revelation that would introduce humanity to multiple intelligent species simultaneously. How many are there? I asked, though I wasn't sure I wanted to know the answer. We've documented at least 12 distinct peoples, Dr. Tanaka said. But based on their own communications, there may be many more. Some so different from human physiology that we might not recognize them as intelligent life, even if we encountered them directly. The meeting ended with Dr. Tanaka offering me something I hadn't expected: the chance to participate in coordinated first contact efforts with multiple hidden peoples simultaneously. The old approach of secrecy and suppression has failed, she explained. We need researchers who understand that these aren't animals or primitive remnants. They're people with their own cultures, technologies, and right. Our first joint contact session was scheduled for November 15th, in a location that had been chosen by the hidden peoples themselves. The Olympic Peninsula, in a valley that human maps showed as uninhabited wilderness, but which apparently served as neutral ground for interspecies communication. The logistics were incredible. Ocean dwellers would need specialized equipment to survive on land for extended periods. Underground peoples had to be gradually acclimatized to surface light levels. High-altitude adapted beings required pressure suits to function at sea level. But they managed it. On a crisp morning in mid-November, I found myself standing in a clearing surrounded by representatives from 7 different intelligent species, all meeting openly for the first time in recorded history. The Saskets were there, of course, with the same delegation leader who'd addressed us at Blackwater Creek. But they were joined by beings I could never have imagined. The ocean dwellers arrived in mobile tanks that kept them submerged while allowing interaction with air-breathing species. Their technology was based on living systems, bioengineered organisms that functioned as tools and communication devices. They'd been developing sustainable technology for millennia, while humans had been burning fossil fuels. The underground peoples emerged from concealed tunnels carrying crystalline devices that generated their own light. Their pale skin and enlarged eyes showed clear adaptation to subterranean environments. But their technology suggested a mastery of geology and underground engineering that surpassed anything in human knowledge. Most remarkable were the high-altitude beings. Wearing what appeared to be environmental suits made from woven materials I couldn't identify, they moved with a grace that suggested their natural environment was in thin air and extreme cold. Their technology seemed to be based on manipulating atmospheric pressure and air currents in ways that human physics was only beginning to understand. The meeting lasted 12 hours and was conducted in a mixture of languages, sign systems, and communication methods that challenged every assumption I'd had about how intelligence could be expressed. Translation was handled by individuals from each people who'd apparently been studying human languages and customs for decades. What emerged from that first interspecies council was a proposal that would change everything. The underground peoples had developed geothermal energy systems that could provide clean power without environmental destruction. High-altitude beings had atmospheric management techniques that could help stabilize climate change. But they needed something from humans in return. Space to exist openly, legal recognition as intelligent beings with rights, and protection from those who would exploit or harm them. "We've been hiding for centuries," the Sasket's delegation leader explained through translation. "But hiding isn't survival. Our children need to know they have a future on this world, not just as refugees in shrinking territories." The proposal they presented was elegant in its complexity. Rather than separate territories or reserves, they suggested integrated communities where different species could coexist while contributing their unique capabilities to common problems. Ocean cities where human marine biologists could work alongside deep-sea dwellers to restore damaged coral reefs. Underground research facilities where human geologists could learn sustainable mining techniques from cave peoples. Mountain communities where human climate researchers could study atmospheric management with high-altitude beings. It wasn't assimilation or segregation. It was cooperation between different forms of intelligence, each contributing what they did best while learning from the others. The human response was complicated. Scientific communities were enthusiastic, recognizing the incredible opportunities for learning and collaboration. Environmental groups saw the potential for finally addressing climate change with technologies that worked with natural systems rather than against them. But there was also fear, prejudice, and exploitation. Religious groups struggled to incorporate non-human intelligence into belief systems based on human specialness. Economic interests worried about disruption to industries based on resource extraction rather than sustainability. Military organizations saw potential threats rather than potential allies. Most challenging were the treasure hunters, conspiracy theorists, and sensation seekers who saw the hidden peoples as entertainment rather than equals. Despite legal protections and scientific protocols, encounters with humans who treated them as curiosities or targets continued to threaten the fragile trust being built. The breakthrough came 6 months later, when the first integrated community was established in the Cascade foothills. New Eden, New Eden. I was invited to serve as the community's first interspecies liaison coordinator, a job title that didn't exist until someone had to create it. Living in New Eden was like experiencing the future while still being grounded in the present. Human children played games that incorporated Sasket's forest wisdom. Ocean dweller aquaculture provided fresh food, using techniques that actually improved water quality rather than depleting it. Underground geothermal systems powered the entire community without any environmental impact. But more importantly, it worked socially. Different species brought different perspectives to common problems. Conflicts were resolved through council processes that incorporated multiple forms of decision-making. Innovation happened at the intersection of different types of intelligence. Within a year, applications for similar communities were being submitted worldwide. The initial fear and resistance were being replaced by curiosity and recognition of the benefits that interspecies cooperation could provide. The hidden peoples were no longer hidden, and humanity was no longer alone. But that was just the beginning. Because as we were learning to live together with Earth's indigenous intelligent species, We were also beginning to detect signals from beyond our planet. The network that connected the hidden peoples wasn't limited to Earth's surface. Some of their communication methods reached into space, connecting with intelligence that had never lived on our planet at all. We weren't just sharing our world with other terrestrial species. We were being introduced to a galactic community that had been waiting for Earth's civilizations to mature enough for contact. The question was no longer whether we could learn to coexist with other forms of intelligence. The question was whether we could grow quickly enough to join a universe where intelligence was the rule, rather than the exception, and where cooperation between different forms of consciousness was necessary for survival among the stars. The Saskets had trusted us with their existence. The ocean dwellers, cave peoples, and high-altitude beings had followed their lead. Now, other intelligences from beyond Earth were watching to see if humanity could evolve beyond fear and exploitation to become worthy partners in a cosmos far more populated and diverse than we'd ever imagined. Standing in the council chamber at New Eden, looking around a table where 7 different forms of terrestrial intelligence worked together to solve problems that had seemed impossible just 2 years earlier, I realized, but for the first time since I'd seen those massive footprints beside Blackwater Creek, I believed we might actually pass. The hidden peoples had shown us the way. Now it was up to us to follow their lead into a future where the word alien no longer meant other, but simply meant friend we haven't met yet. Because they were out there, watching and waiting, ready to welcome us to a community of consciousness that spanned the galaxy.
From elusive predators and prey to paranormal Bigfoot sightings, we capture it all on camera and bring it straight to your screen. So, sit back, relax, and let's get started. Skunk Ape. This specific clip, which has been circulating for ages, purportedly captures a Florida skunk ape running swiftly through the Everglades' tall grass. This has never been explicitly explained what the creature in this video is. According to reports, the skunk ape lives in swamps, woodlands, and other wilderness places, mostly in Florida and the southeastern United States. The skunk ape is characterized as a big, hairy, bipedal creature that is up to 400 pounds in weight and between 6 and 8 feet tall. It is reported to have brown or reddish fur. The moniker skunk ape comes from its distinctive odor, and many people believe it to be related to the Pacific Northwest Bigfoot. Strange figure walking. Recently, this terrible clip has been popular online. The location where this video was taken is India. A bizarre, unsettling humanoid figure can be seen walking down the street in the footage. A group of bikers took the footage on the bridge over the Shardara Dam. Who could have predicted that the motorcyclists would have encountered something like this while out for a leisurely ride late at night? This seems like it belongs in a horror movie. Nobody has a firm understanding of the unusual monster. Others believe it was a ghost or something supernatural, while some insist it was an alien. Following the release of this video, there has been a battle on social media amongst those attempting to decipher what it might possibly represent. In India right now, this video is a hot topic of conversation. Terrible screams. When a hunter hears these screams coming from the woods, he is astounded. Even though I'd have my rifle, I have to admit that I'd still be somewhat alarmed. It seems as though someone is being slaughtered, but many have said that the source of the sounds is only a mountain lion. Let's listen to it once more. What do you think would be the source of these screams? Unidentified creature. At the end of 2022, this clip was taken. The following unusual video was uploaded to the internet by a member of Reddit, and it appears to show something utterly bizarre outside his father's place of employment on a trail camera that was set up right against the woods. The video starts out looking rather regular, displaying a wooded path. However, it doesn't take long for this ordinary film to take a truly bizarre and unsettling turn. As you can see, a mysterious apparition, possibly two, may be seen strolling along the pathway in front of the trail camera. The thing is observed moving in a very unnerving way as it walks. There has been discussion in the comments of the post, but no rational answer has been offered. Nobody knows what the terrible footage actually shows. There was clearly some video here that nobody should have seen. Ghost dog. The strangest part of all of this is that the backyard is completely secured with an 8-foot-high fence, so there is no way any other dog could get inside when a person caught it on camera. He sprinted out to the backyard to investigate, but the mysterious white dog had disappeared. An Australian father of two was horrified when he saw his security footage capturing what appeared to be a ghostly dog running around with his pet dog, Ryder. Without a trace, despite his best efforts to unravel the mystery of the ghost encounter, he was clearly shaken by the eerie footage, since he couldn't explain how the dog got into his well-protected backyard.
Eagle versus owl. Out of nowhere, a sneaky owl swoops down and surprises an unsuspecting eagle with a sudden attack. The eagle tries its best to fight back, but unfortunately, it doesn't stand a chance. It's pretty unusual to see an owl acting so aggressively, and experts are baffled trying to figure out what triggered this unexpected behavior. We're still in the dark about why the owl did what it did, leaving us with lots of questions about the wonders of the animal kingdom. Breathing Earth. This trail cam video showed us how Earth was actually moving up and down like it was tired from spinning and orbiting the sun non-stop. It's like the Earth needed a break to catch its breath. They call it breathing Earth when the ground gets loose and the wind is extra strong, making it move up and down as if it's taking a breath. If you don't know what it was, it would definitely freak you out. You might think the Earth is about to swallow you up, but it's not for the faint-hearted. Real mermaid found swimming. Check out this cool video of a mermaid swimming underwater. It looks so real. The mermaid's tail is super thin and lifelike, and it's swimming way faster than any human could. The other sea creatures around it seem totally chill, like they see mermaids all the time. If it was a person, those fish would be freaking out. A Tasmanian tiger. Guess what? There's this mysterious footage that's causing a big debate online. It's from a trail camera, and for a few seconds, you can see this blurry creature that some people think could be the Tasmanian tiger, a species believed to be extinct. Since the video quality isn't great and it's nighttime, we can't be sure if it's legit.
The obsessed leopard. Guess who's the Mirror's biggest fan? Drumroll please. It's the leopard! Who knew these wild cats were such big admirers of themselves? This leopard found a mirror in the jungle and went all out, smothering it with affection. He even left some personal touches, coating it with his fur oils like it's a fancy spa treatment. But hey, can you blame him? With those stunning spots and sleek moves, he's the king of the runway. And just in case you're wondering, no, the elephants didn't share the same fascination. They're just too busy being cool giants, not mirror fans like our stylish leopard. The Long Island missing posters. A hiker stumbled upon a trail of missing persons posters, all with the same face. Now, that's the stuff of nightmares. And the creepy journey didn't end there. It led to a cage with ripped clothes, more posters, and more suspicious liquid. Are we in a crime scene or a Hollywood thriller? Turns out, it was just a Halloween prank by some nearby folks. But hey, who needs sleep when you can have an adrenaline-fueled hike, right? So, if you're ever in New York and see a missing poster trail, just follow it to your own horror adventure. The Lansing Deer. Ladies and gentlemen, we've got a new star on the dance floor. A deer. Yes, you heard it right. Yellowstone National Park's got some serious dance fever, and it's all thanks to this groovy deer. Trail cams captured the majestic moves of this hoof sensation, leaping and dancing like no one's watching. It's like a woodland ballet with a touch of jazz. Scientists are scratching their heads trying to figure out what's got this deer busting moves. Maybe it's practicing for its debut on Deer's Got Talent. Either way, we're in awe of this dance phenomenon in the wild. UFO floating light. Now, beware the eerie sight that haunted the Mississippi couple. A mysterious UFO, a glowing light from beyond. Their trail cameras captured the spooky moment it appeared, casting an otherworldly glow on a startled deer. They wondered if it was a government drone or something more uncanny. Seeking answers, they turned to friends, but the truth remained vague. The mysterious light left them both fascinated and afraid. Was it aliens or a mere coincidence? The truth will never be known, and the mystifying memory of the hovering light lingers, a spooky tale that chills the spine. Buck sheds its antler. Now, discover the spine-chilling moment an 8-point buck sheds its antlers, caught on camera in the dim forests of Northfield, Vermont. This rare footage captures the mysterious annual occurrence rarely seen by human eyes. Witness the deer grazing amidst the falling apples from a nearby tree before the mysterious shedding begins. As the antlers drop, an eerie sense of transformation engulfs the scene that will leave you in awe. Nature's puzzling ways never cease to astonish, and this hauntingly beautiful event proves that even in the shadows, secrets are waiting to be unveiled.
A group. In this image, it can be seen that there is not just one of the creatures, but 3. This image also makes it look more so like it's wearing a type of clothing as it stretches between leg to leg. One of the scariest parts is that you can't really get any sort of facial recognition. No one has ever been able to explain what is going on in this photo. Someone scary. The figure in this picture is obviously wearing either a really long coat or a gown. It's also hard to tell if you can make out a face or if it's just the leaves creating a pattern. The figure is rather tall as well, making it extra terrifying thinking about the potential that you could run into this in the woods. A moose. This moose may seem like a normal moose, but looking into its eyes, you can see it's much more terrifying. He looks as though he's either possessed or just very, very angry. Either way, this photo reminds us just how much we don't want to run into a moose while walking around alone in the woods at night. Unknown scary being. Whoever these eyes might belong to is a rather creepy thing to think about. The creature looks as though it knows that there is a camera there, and that it might be pleading for help, as it seems rather terrified. It's probably another innocent deer running from a terrifying supernatural being. God knows what might have happened to it after. A helpless deer. If you're a big fan of deer, you probably hate today's list by now. It seems that they get the most abuse from threatening animals and creatures in the forest. Why can't they attack spiders or other gross bugs and animals? It's almost as if the wolves wanted you to see them eat it, as a reminder of just how cruel the forest is to deer. An unknown animal. This picture is absolutely heart-stopping. It is very unclear as to what this creature could possibly be. At first, you might just assume it's a bear cub, but the arms appear much too long, and the lack of the rest of the bear cubs around it suggests otherwise. Well, whatever it may be, we don't want to know.
A brave cat. Check out this funny video where a cat saves a little boy from a dog who's trying to play rough. The dog grabs the boy's leg, but the clever cat kicks the dog hard. Then the boy's mom rushes in to help while the fearless cat scares the dog away. It just goes to show that cats can be protectors too, and dogs aren't always the only ones looking out for us. Caught in the act. This not-so-smart thief thought he could take a trail camera from the woods, but guess what? It was securely attached to a tree. He pulled and tugged with all his might, but couldn't budge it. Eventually, he gave up and left the camera hanging upside down. Now he's become an internet sensation for all the wrong reasons. So, remember kids, crime doesn't pay, especially when you end up being the laughingstock of the internet. Witch performing fire ritual. Back in 1970, a German journalist named Ralph Olsen captured some really spooky footage while traveling in Africa. He stumbled upon a shaman in a rural area who was performing a magic ritual to connect with spirits. The witch lived in the hills and started by creating a ring of fire. As her followers chanted, she slowly levitated off the ground and then came back down. This happened multiple times. When the journalist shared the footage, people in the broadcasting community made fun of him, ruining his reputation. A pixie. You know those little fairy-like creatures called pixies? Well, they're mostly from mythology, but there have been times when people saw things that made them think otherwise. This video shows exactly what pixies might look like if they were real. Imagine a tiny being popping its head out of a mountain cave. It seemed like it was checking out the man filming it. It only stayed for a few seconds before disappearing back. A clown in woods. Trail cams are usually used to catch animals in their natural habitat, but sometimes they capture something unexpected. For instance, this clip where a man wearing a clown mask was recorded on a trail cam. The point here is what exactly was this man doing so late at night, so deep in the woods? Considering it was a man, of course, we can't say anything if it was a ghost or something, you know? Well, this creepy clown came straight towards the camera and stared into it for a few seconds for God knows for what reason, leaving us all wondering what other mysteries might be lurking there. A UFO. It isn't just animals or creepy humans that trail cams have recorded. There are times when they capture something more otherworldly and strange in nature. For instance, a UFO. In this footage, we see a light which glows in the darkness of the night, high above in the sky, and then disappears. Now for sure that wasn't a plane, because that's not how planes work, right? But then, what was it? My guess is a UFO. Do let us know what you guys think. Trail cam destruction. Speaking of trail cams, we have to share this adorable clip that we came across. A mama bear and her cub can both be seen wandering around the forest. The baby bear is all in for having fun and decides to take out its energy on the trail cam nearby. He comes straight towards the camera and gives it a good whack. The best part, Mama Bear doesn't seem to care at all. She continues grazing on some grass, completely unfazed by her cub's shenanigans. It's just another day in the life of a mama bear with an energetic cub. An unknown girl. A man with his dog was out camping in the woods. The man thought it'd be a good idea to enjoy some moments of peace and solace with just his dog and himself. But what he did not know was that his peace was about to be ruined by some unusual circumstances. At first, his dog started getting scared without any reason and refused to come out of the camper. According to the man, he usually doesn't do that. And after a while, a man spotted a girl wearing all white going into the forest. That was enough to make him pack his stuff and go back to his home. But who was that girl? I guess we may never know, but it's definitely a chilling thought to ponder.
An alien. There was a guy in Brazil who saw something strange on a rooftop while he was doing his own thing and decided to record it. What he captured was a weird creature that looked like a huge ant hanging out on the roof. Some people thought it was extraterrestrial, but to me it looks like a really big ant. Brazil has all sorts of creepy crawlies, so who knows what else is out there, right? The freakiest part is that the creature vanishes right after the guy spots it. What was it doing up there? We may never find out. Night walkers. Have you ever seen those spooky creatures people call night crawlers or soul walkers? They can give you the creeps, but they're also strangely calming. There's this video from California back in 2011 that shows two stick-like figures walking through the woods. They almost look like a family of ghosts, with one resembling a little baby ghost and the other maybe a ghost mom or dad. It's a peaceful and serene scene, and I hope they were able to keep wandering about undisturbed. A clown. Trail cameras are used to take pictures of animals in the wild, but sometimes they capture something really creepy. Like this one time, a man in a clown mask was caught on camera in the forest at night. We don't know what he was doing there, or if he was even a real person. The spooky clown stared right at the camera before vanishing into the woods, giving everyone the creeps. Who knows what other scary stuff is out there lurking in the shadows? A mouse deer. The deep, dark woods conceal secrets and elusive creatures that have managed to evade human detection. Despite our assumptions that certain species have gone extinct, they persist in their natural habitats, hidden from our eyes. However, a trail camera recently captured a remarkable sighting in Vietnam, a two-tone mouse deer that scientists believed had been extinct for 30 years. The footage astonished the world as it revealed a healthy and lively creature meandering through the woods. An elk. So there was a video that captured an elk on a trail cam wearing a tire like a necklace. Crazy, right? This poor elk had the tire around his neck for 2 years while going about his daily life. As time passed, his neck and antlers grew bigger, which made it impossible for him to remove the tire by himself. Luckily, wildlife officials came to the rescue. They gave the elk some medicine to make him sleep and attempted to remove the tire. Sadly, they had to remove his antlers too. But don't worry, the elk will grow a new pair of antlers in due time. Dancing bear. The Wildlife Channel put cameras in the jungle to see the animals there. They were hoping to film them doing normal things, but what the cameras showed was surprising. The bears they caught on camera were dancing and moving their bodies like Shakira. It's pretty amazing that bears can dance like that, but did you know that bears also get itchy? And instead of scratching themselves with their paws like we do, they use trees. And look at them go. They're really enjoying themselves, aren't they? Lion intruders. When you go camping, unexpected guests might drop by, like mosquitoes and other bugs if you're lucky. But if you're not, like the guy in this video, a big male lion and 2 lionesses might pay you a visit. The man was sleeping soundly in his tent when all of a sudden this happened. Luckily, he stayed put and didn't try to run away. The lion seemed more curious than anything and didn't harm him. Despite the scare, the camper had an unforgettable night.
Giant anaconda climbing a tree. The trail camera had been set up to observe wildlife in its natural habitat, but it captured something truly mesmerizing. An immense anaconda effortlessly scaling a towering tree with astonishing agility. The massive serpent's display of power and grace left viewers in awe. As the colossal anaconda defied gravity, its movements seemed almost otherworldly. Such encounters serve as powerful reminders of the vast biodiversity our planet hosts and the mysteries that remain waiting to be uncovered. Buffalo attack after the rescue. In Kruger National Park, a rescue operation to save a trapped buffalo took an unexpected turn. Park rangers pulled the buffalo from a mud pit, hoping to free it from drowning. However, the distressed buffalo became agitated and aggressively attacked the rescue team with their truck. The team managed to escape unharmed, but the buffalo's anger persisted, demonstrating the unpredictability of wild animals. It doesn't matter if you save them from death, they'd still attack in fear. Nature's quite scary, isn't it? Bandit orangutan. A tour guide in Borneo had a unique passion for his boat and touring business. However, an unexpected visitor, a mischievous orangutan, became fixated on the boat and decided to hijack it. The hilarious yet intense scene unfolded as the tour guide tried to defend his beloved boat from the persistent animal. Their playful tug-of-war with the boat's rope led to both comical and tense moments between humans and wildlife in the wilderness. Spying biped. Despite skepticism from some, alleged interference of a Bigfoot-like creature in the Idaho wilderness fueled the Bigfoot terror among online communities. Park rangers conducting routine surveys in a remote forest encountered strange eyes spying on them, hidden within the trees. Further investigation revealed a large, black, bipedal creature resembling the mythical Bigfoot. Speculation arose about its true identity, with some suggesting it was a bear, while others held on to the idea of a legendary creature lurking in the woods. Sleeping beast. A team of researchers achieved their dream of capturing a rare glimpse of a shy, legendary creature, a massive, hairy beast resting among the dense woods of Kentucky. The creature was believed to be a female Sasquatch, and the researchers claimed to have obtained DNA proof of its existence. The rare sighting became a subject of fascination and debate among believers and skeptics alike, highlighting the allure and mystery surrounding legendary creatures like Sasquatch. Extraterrestrial creature. A chilling 911 call reported a strange and giant creature in someone's backyard, prompting response from the authorities. As the police arrived, they found no trace of the creature, leaving everyone puzzled. The audio recording of the call became a topic of fascination and wonder, sparking debates about the existence of extraterrestrial creatures. The encounter served as a reminder that, even if one didn't believe in something, it didn't mean it wasn't real to those who experienced it. The Uncanny Night Visitor. Imagine the astonishment when a nocturnal visitor materializes upon opening the front door. A goat with radiant, glowing eyes fixated on you. It's not hostile, but the unexpectedness and peculiarity leave you perplexed and unnerved. Is this innocent lost animal seeking solace? Or could it be something darker? The possibilities are both unsettling and intriguing. Some speculate it could be a supernatural or possessed entity, drawn to the house for a purpose beyond comprehension. Grizzly bear attacked camera. In a rare and shocking moment, a big black bear made a surprise landing on the entrance to someone's tent. The unexpected encounter captured the terrifying reality of encountering a wild bear in close proximity. The footage served as a stark reminder of the need for caution and respect when venturing into the bear's natural habitat.
The wildest feast. Hold on tight, folks, as we venture to Powwow River, British Columbia, where a Canadian nurse's trail camera caught something truly disturbing. Prepare to be shocked as the camera reveals two nearly naked figures feasting on a deer carcass. Who are these mysterious people, and what on earth are they doing out in the wilderness, indulging in such a gruesome act? Some say they might be skinwalkers or psychopaths, while others believe it's something beyond our wildest imaginations. Either way, you might think twice before wandering into the woods alone. Creepy forest figure. In an Indonesian forest, locals stumbled upon a horrifying sight. A figure wrapped in cloth, standing motionless. According to local beliefs, it could be the soul of a dead person trapped in their shroud, known as a Pokemon. This belief is deeply rooted in Indonesian culture and folklore, adding to the mystery and fear surrounding the sight. The video captured the figure's ghostly appearance, with its eyes peering intensely into the surroundings. Witnesses were both in awe and concern as they encountered what they believed to be an ancient ghostly entity.
Ninja rat. The kangaroo rat, or as we like to call it, the ninja rat, is a little springy rodent that is commonly found in desert regions. It is mostly known for hopping away in a strikingly similar fashion to a kangaroo. While hopping about in the desert looking for food, these little critters are at a risk of running into snakes. If there's one thing snakes love on their food menu, it is a nice bite of fresh rodents after a long and hot day in the sun. This is exactly what almost happens in this video. The snake is about to take a nice bite of the rat, but little did it know that this critter's size should not be underestimated. The kangaroo rat has enormous legs and a lightning-fast reaction time. This ninja rat can easily jump out of the way and even kick the snake out of its path. Therefore, this rat is not a meal. The snakes can just sneak up on it and eat it. They can hardly even catch them at all. Army of tadpoles. Once in a while, divers get to capture some of the most amazing videos ever. This diver's camera captured the incredible moment when a diver was caught swimming with thousands of tadpoles. At first, he thought he was going for an ordinary swim, but little did he know that he would actually be accompanied by many little tadpoles during their amphibian life cycle. Soon they will forget how to swim, but it's still pretty fun to watch these little fun lovers skitter through the bottom of the ocean. Flying dinosaur in the wild. Okay, this one might be a random video from an unidentified source, but it still looks very realistic. So realistic that it managed to make it onto our list. We mean, would you believe it if we told you that there was still a pterosaur lurking in our skies? It's very easy to identify pterosaurs, thanks to all the dinosaur movies out there. No one can argue that they are the greatest flying creatures ever. Sadly, they died long before we could witness them in action. It turns out some folks were lucky to catch one on camera while it was in action. Tell us what you think of this clip in the comments. It might be a fake made for publicity purposes, but you can never be too sure.
Catching birds for dinner. A simple fact that gorillas are not known to hunt birds is enough to say that this isn't something normal. A video recorded in March 2016 by a fisherman who was returning from a catch, shows a huge furry animal on top of a pole. This furry animal was attempting to catch seagulls flying nearby. Upon capturing one of them, it started bashing the seagull aggressively on the pole, presenting its incredible strength, and started eating minutes later. As it was able to climb tall, narrow poles easily, many speculated that it could be a gorilla, but honestly, it seems like a really hungry Bigfoot. Groot-like creature. If Groot has an evil twin, this probably has to be it. A Virginia family of 3 went out for trekking in the nearby forest where they noticed a tall, dark man-like tree that also happened to be staring at them. The parents commented that they felt like being followed by an unknown stalker hours after entering the forest. Coincidentally, they happened to notice the same tree, despite moving for several hours, which raised their suspicion. Interestingly, the tree creature didn't seem to have any footsteps left behind and remained stationary until it was seen moving slowly. Could it be that a tree somehow came to life, or is it an outer Earth visitor? Giant Tarzan. A sighting such as this is probably a dream come true for all the Tarzan fans. A construction worker in Minnesota, while on a break, saw that this very tall man, who was caught by the magnificence of modern construction, it looked almost naked, covered only by a dark piece of clothing with a height twice to that of an average person. As one of the construction workers riding on his bicycle passed by that point, this real-life Tarzan suddenly disappeared. Since the footage was taken from quite a distance, the tall man wasn't identified properly. Caned Ghost Yoda. Facing off a pissed Yoda is more dangerous than all other scary creatures in the dark. A cowboy on a horse was passing through woods while looking at some missing cattle, bumped into a tiny being having similarity to that of a Yoda from Star Wars. This Yoda, resembling a ghost, was running towards the cowboy while aggressively stabbing its sharp cane on the ground. It began to gain pace upon closing in, and due to the fear of the unknown, the man responded by fleeing. While the actual intentions of the caned ghost Yoda may remain a mystery, it definitely couldn't be any good. Aggressive Yeti. What could be scarier than being killed by a Yeti? It's having one to trip and fall onto you. In January 2021, 2 friends out on a 3-day hiking adventure came across some way scarier than your typical wild animal, a Yeti. The Yeti appeared out of nowhere and started inspecting their backpacks when they returned back to their base camp with firewood. During the unwarranted inspection, the Yeti unknowingly pepper sprayed itself in the eyes. It began to panic aggressively. It got so aggressive that it nearly fell on the hikers before stumbling down the hilly terrain. Bigfoot with glowing eyes. Maybe this Bigfoot was just showing off its sparkling eyes. A TikToker, while out in the Canadian woods for a video, had a close call with this giant gorilla-like creature with exceptionally bright eyes. At first, it was thought of being some gorilla, until after it came closer while passing by. Being caught in fear and confusion, he decided to film the incident. To get answers, the video was uploaded on social media, where many called it a Bigfoot, and that this might be the closest ever encounter with one of them. The TikToker definitely was fortunate enough that the Bigfoot didn't display any predatory behavior. Three-eyed creature. Deep in the woods of Finland, 2 brave adventurers placed a trail camera, hoping to capture the secrets of the night. Little did they know they'd stumble upon an unsolvable mystery. The camera disappeared overnight, only to be found later in a backyard. And what it captured? A spine-tingling image of a creature with 3 glowing eyes lurking in the shadows. Even Finnish wildlife experts were stumped. What could this unknown apparition be? Join the online frenzy as everyone debates theories on this eerie, spooky enigma hiding in the bushes. Sometimes the trail camera reveals secrets that even the bravest dare not fathom. Scratching and dancing. In the wilds of Prince George, a trail cam caught something extraordinary. A bear dancing! Not in a terrifying way, mind you, but hilariously wobbling up and down a tree to scratch an itch. Mike Costi, the lucky witness, has seen plenty of funny bear antics on his 45-acre property. This bear, not interested in chasing prey, refused to dance to his own rhythm. Bears use trees as personal scratching posts, which gives them a playful and mischievous edge. Remember, if you spot bear scratches in the woods, they might just be dancing the night away instead of seeking a frightful encounter. Rare Wolverine sighting. Hold your breath, for the rarest creature in Yellowstone National Park has been caught on camera. The wolverine, a savage little beast, prowls the cold, high-elevation forest and tundras, leaving behind only whispers of its presence. Capturing a wolverine on a trail cam is like striking gold, and scientists treasure every moment to understand this enigmatic creature's elusive habits. They dwell in low densities and remain largely solitary, making their encounters scarce. Witnessing a wolverine on a trail cam is like peeking into the hidden realms of a mythical world, nature's best-kept secret. The elusive striped rabbit. Ever heard of the Sumatran striped rabbit? No worries if not, because this cutie is a true master of hide and seek. This rare rabbit is so weird that it's only been spotted on camera a handful of times. Talk about being camera shy. Living high up in the mountain forest of Sumatra, it's like they've got their own VIP club up there. Scientists are scratching their heads trying to figure out more about these chalk-colored bunnies with dark brown stripes. But hey, they're making progress one trail cam at a time. So, let's keep those cameras rolling, and who knows what other surprises we'll find. The haunted house door. The brave policemen were on a mission to bust some drug operation, but little did they know they'd encounter something far more spine-chilling. As they entered the creepy old house, the front door started slamming like a possessed poltergeist was having a tantrum. Gulp! They searched high and low for the cause, but found nothing. Creepy! But it didn't end there. As they hurriedly made their exit, something behind them shattered into pieces, sending shivers down their spines. Was it a ghost? A prankster? Either way, they were out of there faster than a bolt of lightning.
Elephant doesn't like to take selfies. This heart-racing video that will make you think twice before getting too close to the largest land animal. In this clip, a man tries to take a selfie with an elephant, but things quickly spiral out of control. As the man confidently poses with the elephant, the animal's demeanor suddenly changes, and it starts to flap its ears and raise its trunk. Without warning, the massive beast charges toward him with incredible speed and force, attacking the man and stomping over his body. The panic in the witnesses as they watch the man trying to scramble away from the enraged elephant is a chilling alert of the danger that lurks when humans mess with elephants. Elephants may seem docile, but they can be incredibly aggressive and territorial, and it's vital to maintain a safe distance and show them the respect they deserve. Moose isn't a camera person. This clip takes you to the remote forests of North America, where a wildlife photographer sets out to capture the beauty of a majestic moose. As the photographer approaches the moose, it suddenly charges at him. With lightning-fast reflexes and sharp survival instincts, the photographer narrowly dodges the attack and runs for his life. The moose is known to be one of the most dangerous animals in the wild, and this photographer just learned that the hard way. Gorilla attacks old woman. Next on our list features a mother gorilla. The gorilla mother was with her kids when the tourists approached her. At first, the mother gorilla seemed calm and didn't react to the group's presence. However, as the tourists got closer and started taking pictures, the mother gorilla became agitated. Suddenly, the mother gorilla lunged forward and pushed the old woman, who fell to the ground. The woman was lucky to have escaped with minor injuries, but it could have been much worse. The mother gorilla could have attacked with much more force, causing serious injuries or even death. Gorillas, like any other predator, can be extremely dangerous when they feel threatened or when their young ones are in danger. This mother gorilla was just being protective of her kids, and the tourists learned a valuable lesson about respecting the boundaries of wild animals. Porcupine bites.
Oh my god, it's so cute.
On number 14 spot, we take you on a journey into the world of porcupines and one man's unfortunate encounter with them. In this video, we see a man trying to pick up a porcupine, unaware of the danger he's putting himself in. He was trying to get the porcupine to raise its quills, while his friends recorded him curiously. As the man tries to pick up the porcupine, the animal raises its quills, warning the man that it's not to be messed with. Ignoring that warning, the man carelessly continues to grab at the porcupine, and in a split second, the porcupine bites his hand. The man screams in pain as he learns the hard way that porcupines are not to be trifled with. These animals have quills for protection, and they will use them when they feel threatened or in danger. Snake bite kills man. Our next story takes us to India, where a street showman is carrying a snake and allowing pictures to be taken with it. One man in particular got too close to the snake and got bitten. Despite getting bitten, the man seemed ignorant and didn't seek medical attention. Tragically, news reports indicate that he lost the battle of life and died later that day. This story is a tragic reminder that wild animals are not to be taken lightly. Snakes in particular are dangerous predators, and their venom can cause serious harm or even death to humans. It's important to understand the risks involved when encountering wild animals and to respect their boundaries. Man-o-war jellyfish. The man-o-war jellyfish is one of the deadliest creatures in the ocean, and it's something that you don't want to mess with. This jellyfish can grow up to 6 inches in diameter, and its long tentacles can reach up to 165 feet in length. The tentacles are lined with tiny venomous darts that deliver a powerful sting. In this video, we see a swimmer who got a little too close to a man-o-war jellyfish and paid the price. The jellyfish's tentacles lashed out, delivering a vicious sting. The swimmer was instantly overcome with pain and struggled to break free from the jellyfish's grasp. Luckily, the swimmer was able to make it back to shore and receive medical attention before the venom caused any permanent damage. Don't pet snakes. In this video, a man with a fascination for deadly snakes is bitten by his own king cobra. This snake's venom is potent enough to kill an elephant, and the man is now in critical condition. It's a classic example of humans messing with the wrong predator, thinking they can handle something dangerous, but underestimating the potential consequences. Even experienced handlers can fall victim to their own hubris, and this video serves as a warning sign for all the risks involved in handling deadly animals. As fascinating as they may be, it's important to approach these creatures with caution, or risk suffering the deadly consequences. Angry octopus. 23 on our list is the intelligent vertebrate from Australia. The octopus is an intelligent species and a dangerous species. In this clip, a man tries to film an octopus, but little did he know the danger that awaited him. The octopus suddenly becomes agitated and starts to slowly creep up to him. Then, in a split second, it lashes out with its tentacles, ready to attack. The man was lucky to escape unharmed, but it's a reminder that even seemingly harmless creatures can be dangerous if provoked. This is just one of the many times humans have messed with the wrong predator, and it's a testament to the importance of respecting the privacy of these creatures. Respect the bisons. Bison, also known as buffalo, are one of the most powerful land animals in North America. They can weigh over 2,000 pounds and have been known to charge at speeds up to 35 miles per hour. In video number 24 on our list, a man gets out of his car at Yellowstone National Park to mock a bison. The bison, feeling threatened, charges at the man and throws him several feet into the air. The man luckily escaped any serious injuries, but this is a caution that humans should never underestimate the power of wild animals. This is just one of 30 times humans messed with the wrong predator on our list. Hyena. hyena attacks an old man. We have this shocking clip where an unsuspecting elderly man is attacked by a hyena that suddenly appears from the grass. Another man tries to help and uses a stick to fend off the relentless predator. Hyenas are very powerful and dangerous animals that humans should stay away from. As humans continue to encroach upon animal habitats, these kinds of attacks are becoming more common. It's an indicator that we must respect the power and unpredictability of these predators and take precautions to ensure our safety when we venture into their territories. Whenever humans have underestimated the animals they come in contact with, they had to pay the price for it.
A bear fight. Recently, a trail camera recorded an intense brawl between two male bears. It all started when one of the bears let out a bone-chilling snarl, warning the other bear to back off. Things quickly escalated from there, with the bears wrestling and biting each other in a wild frenzy. The fight lasted for a few minutes before they eventually went their separate ways. It was a crazy scene that happened deep in the heart of the woods. A little girl. A creepy trail cam pic caused a stir online because a little girl was seen in the middle of nowhere with no humans around. People wondered how she got there or if she was a ghost, but it turns out she was just with her grandpa and the pic was taken in the woods. No need to be scared, she's a real human. The rake. This picture was captured by a trail camera in the dead of night. We haven't been able to investigate it further, but it appears to be a rake lurking in the darkness of the woods. We're keeping our eyes peeled for any updates, but for now, all we have is this eerie image, and people are saying it's real. A humpback whale. It isn't always the animals or the mysterious beings that lurk in the woods. Sometimes it's humpback whales also, found laying all deep in the woods. And how exactly the whale ended up there, so far away from the ocean? Well, that's been a mystery ever since. UFO. When a man went out to check his trail cam and what it captured this time, he was stunned to see the picture the camera had taken. To some, it appeared like two glowing eyes, and to others, it was a UFO. Since it was just a picture, we can't say if it was fake or just something which looks eerie. A trail cam attack. Crocodiles are super deadly creatures. They don't care about anyone or anything, not even if you're just trying to record them with a camera. They can sneak up on you real slow, and before you know it, you're stuck in their powerful jaws with no escape. Bobcat versus rattlesnake. These fierce felines hunt and chow down on all sorts of critters, but one time one of them got snapped by a camera while running into a rattlesnake on its way somewhere. It made sure to take out the snake before resuming its original plans, but man, it really had to work hard to take down that snake. It used its sharp claws and teeth to crush and bite the snake's head in an epic battle. A mountain lion. At first, the coyote could be seen running away from the camera's range of vision, and shortly after, the mountain lion appeared and chased after the coyote. And after a few seconds, we could hear the coyote screaming for help, indicating that the mountain lion had caught it. That's how fast these deadly...
Wolverine spotted. A wolverine is seen on camera in Oregon as it descends a mountain and crosses a road. Wolverines are listed as threatened, but 2 more sightings in Oregon happened last month. The first confirmed sightings beyond the Wallowa Mountains wolverine's home in more than 30 years. Here is the encounter between a wolverine and 2 ravenous wolves. Now I know I say this all the time, but these wolves are huge. Just look at him next to them, which were also enormous and in good health. He does a fantastic job of keeping the wolves from getting close to him, and he eventually succeeds in moving on and living another day. Weird, human-looking creature. This disturbing photo, which was taken on November 30th, 2010 at 1:44 a.m., appears to depict a man racing through the woods with only his boxer shorts on. Little else is known about the photo other than that it was taken in Florida. Is this a picture of a man having a psychotic episode, an escape from a mental institution, or just a typical Florida jogger? Three-eyed creature. In this clip, which was taken on February 18th at 2:37 a.m., we can see what appears to be a monster with 3 eyes. Zooming in on the photo doesn't do much to offer an explanation. The background is this. The first 2 nights that 2 friends in Finland used a new trail camera, testing it out in some nearby woodland, it didn't record anything. But on the morning of the 3rd night, they went to get the camera, and it was gone. They found it lying in someone's back garden as they were walking home. When they checked for images, they found this picture. Is this mysterious 3-eyed creature in the picture the result of radiation, or just a lens flare? Woman disappearing caught on camera. The imagination is captured by ghost stories, legends, and strange encounters, and many Japanese people share their own spooky tales. One such instance is a terrifying video that user HappyJPY published to TikTok, which has generated so much interest and discussion. Through a GoPro, we observe a cyclist's perspective in the video. As I rewatch it, I notice that the biker almost hits a young woman, but as he turns around to take a look, nobody is there. Viewers have made assumptions about the woman's true nature due to this perplexing incident. According to a widely accepted notion, this might be a Yorai, a legendary Japanese spirit known for its restless and malevolent disposition. Siren head spotted in Amsterdam. There are clever assassins who seduce victims by mimicking their pals' voices, and these slim, mummified hominids with 2 titanium sirens on their head are known as Siren Head. They're similar to the 2020 version of a Slender Man. We initially believed these tales to be urban legends, but we looked into them once fresh information about an ancient cave picture emerged. Unfortunately, we were unable to obtain anything. Shaking trees. This tree was reportedly recorded by a drone as it moved erratically across the woodland. People who say they have previously witnessed something similar claim it was caused by a Bigfoot shaking a tree, which would be an astounding feat. I must admit that as I watch it more, the more doubtful I become. Has anything similar to this ever been seen? Turkeys circling a dead cat. In a disturbing video from a Randolph, Massachusetts suburban neighborhood, a flock of turkeys could be seen around a dead cat for an extended period of time. As the loop became larger and larger, more and more turkeys joined it from the adjacent forests. Definitely strange. And if anyone has any information on this incident, we'd love to hear it.
Unknown nighttime predator. Somewhere in the wilderness, another potential werewolf was caught on camera. A lady searching for her lost dog found herself face to face with a frightful creature emerging from the darkness, walking on its hind legs like a wolf man. The lady's flashlight offered a glimpse of its eerie features, but the creature quickly vanished into the shadows. The blurry footage left everyone speculating about the nature of the mysterious creature. Was it truly a werewolf, or was something else lurking in the woods? The encounter left a lingering sense of uncertainty. The Masked Man. Once upon a spine-chilling time, a trail camera captured some of the eeriest footage ever seen. A masked man with an unsettling mask that sent shivers down spines was spotted late at night, crawling on his knees through the dark forest. The mysterious figure stirred questions and fears. Why was he wandering all alone in the dead of night? The video went viral, leaving viewers both intrigued and trembling. The enigma of the masked man remains unsolved, forever haunting those who dare to watch. Spooky encounter in the cave. A group of adventurous souls ventured into a mysterious cave, camera rolling to document their epic journey. Little did they know that their chilling encounter awaited. As they explored the dark caverns, they spotted a black figure crouched nearby. Was it a friend or foe? They quickly realized this wasn't just some furry friend, but a hairy creature with intentions far from friendly. Yeek! It was like a scene from a hair-raising horror flick. They hightailed it out of there, but the haunting encounter left them with more questions than answers. What did they stumble upon in those murky depths? Bigfoot Shy sighting. Our next trail cam encounter takes us on to Ontario, Canada, where a group of folks were chilling by a lake when something hair-raising happened. Out of nowhere, this massive hairy creature pops up and tries to play hide-and-seek with them. Was it Bigfoot? The evidence sure points in that direction. Bigfoot sightings are no joke, and this could be the real deal. Whether you're a believer or a skeptic, it's hard to deny the thrill of wondering what might be lurking out there in the great unknown. Strange figure in the snow. Moving on, gather around for a mysterious creature sighting caught on tape. A group of adventurers in Spain stumbled upon something in the snowy wilderness. Zoom in, folks, cause it's an odd one. A tall, hairy figure making its way through the snow, walking on its two legs. But wait, there's more! This mysterious being seems to be armless, like a furry bipedal explorer in the Arctic. Is it some cryptid? A stray yeti? Or just a prankster in a furry costume? Your guess is as good as ours. Forest zombie. This looks to be either a zombie or a clown, or perhaps both. After numerous reports of something haunting a small part of a forest in Ontario, Canada, paranormal investigators decided to investigate. After several hours of searching, they weren't able to find any ghosts, but rather a zombified being that was stalking them from a distance. Upon one of the paranormal investigators spotting this haunting figure, it quickly escaped behind the tree and into the darkness. It had sparkly eyes, clown-like makeup, sharp reflexes, and not to mention huge in size. Imagine the horror of such a nightmare ambushing you. Jungle highway crawler. Choosing a highway to crawler in the middle of a forest is probably the worst place to be around for creeping onto someone. Only a few days ago, a transport driver, while passing through the dense Valdivian temperate rainforest road, came across a naked-looking crawler in the middle of the road. It looked to be quite skinny as a frame of moving skeleton with a very bleak face and hair, although it remained mostly stationary. But according to the driver, it was too eager to get closer. The driver, who turned around for alternate route out of fear of his safety, was criticized by many for not helping a possible man in distress. Sword hand skeleton. Something as scary as this surely redefines the notion of haunting spirits in graveyards. With the appearance of a sharp footstep-like trail all around the cemetery, gravediggers decided to place a trail camera, hoping to find some answers. To their surprise, a disturbing-looking rake being was caught on camera as it was passing by the graves using its sword-like limbs to move. Its body was merely a dark shade of skeleton. While many consider it a rogue ghost, some call it to be a case of reincarnation or a dead man walking. Humpy ghost. It's probably the hump that may have gotten it not so mobile. A group of friends who were lighting up firecrackers to celebrate the 4th of July when they were interrupted by a high-pitched guttural cry. Curious for answers, they decided to investigate the noise. While passing through the trees, they were abruptly stopped after spotting what looks to be a weird, humpy entity in the dark. Since the idea of getting closer for identification wasn't an option, they decided to lobby a flying firecracker in its direction before running away.
Get the hell out of here.
Many take it to be a case of a drugged-up human, but whatever it was surely is a terrifying sight to behold. Dark furry monster. This particular dark furry monster may initially seem like a man wearing a Halloween costume until you look closely at its eyes. Two explorers, while passing through the forest of northern Iran, spotted an eerie hiding behind the bushes. Due to the pitch darkness of the night, they were forced to get closer to it to investigate. While preaching religious chants, they were to get close, but still could barely see it. It had a dirty fur-like coat with incredibly white eyes that were visible. Due to lack of light and fear of the unknown, they weren't able to get a good look at it despite being spitting distance away from it. tall, furry humanoid. The bigger and furrier it is, the more concerning it gets. After dozens of reports of a tall, furry, human-like figure being noticed in a woods near Winnipeg, a former canine expert was hired by wildlife experts to find and investigate. The canine tracker, after hours of attempting to find the rumored humanoid, was about to call it a day until the notorious being made a sudden appearance as it passed by the tree. The tracker attempted to get a closer look at it, but his dog refused to join into the pursuit, creating a moment of confusion that aided in the humanoid's escape. Fortunately, a camera was installed on the dog harness, which captured the first ever glimpse of this rumored being. Cryptid caught on camera. Cryptid or not, even they tend to make mistakes and get seen. An explorer, while placing his trail camera in a mountain forest somewhere in the United States, found a mysterious shadowy figure. It was seen curiously peeking out from next to a broad tree trunk and got caught on the camera that was still recording. Although it didn't show any sinister intentions, the cameraman quickly ran away from the area. The fact that the nature of this being is unknown and you never know what it might be capable of, he instinctively decided to run away. The figure remains a complete mystery, despite widespread online exposure. Crooked-faced walker. This is one of those times when something fictional becomes a reality. Residents from a small town in Wisconsin reported numerous appearances of this crooked-faced walker, which has a resemblance to a mythical character called the Spirit Walker. Locals would often wear costumes depicting the walker until it actually started appearing after dark at festivals and community events. So much so that it was locally known as the Spirit of Bizarre. It has a body structure similar to that of a man with extremely long, bony arms, all covered in a suit and a mask. The footage was taken by one of the cameras that was placed to get a closer view at it. Shady beast. With little to no trees around, the chances of it being a monkey is next to impossible. A footage captured in a woodland area in Nebraska shows a troubled-looking individual that was spotted by passerby as it appeared out from behind the grass. The author of the video at first thought it to be a monkey in distress or an animal of some kind until it got closer and up on its hind, revealing its terrifying face as it began chasing. The recorder described it to have a beastly appearance, which, after video getting viral, was later nicknamed as the Shady Beast.
There are times when the unknown happens in woods, from alien-like creatures and weird mutant deers to the creatures who attack humans and tiny gray creatures in the woods. Here are the most disturbing encounters caught on cameras.
This way.
A giant. It looks like a giant with a sharp weapon or something in his hand, walking as if it's finding prey to kill and eat. But wait, giants aren't real, right? Or maybe they are. Maybe we just don't know much about them. With so many weird things happening, anything can be possible. A weird deer. While a man was busy recording a deer who appeared to be scared of him at first, but then suddenly stopped, as if it was scared of something, and then turned back and went hopping away beside the man. He was all confused, just like anyone would be. But then he saw something that scared him too. A deer emerged from the bushes with a deformed neck. Or was it a skinwalker? Because that's what most people said. A creature attack. Some friends were out having a bonfire and enjoying the night when they started hearing weird noises coming from the woods. One of them decided to be brave and go and check, while others were there recording him. And this is when this happened. Even though they immediately ran to save their friend, we have no idea what happened afterwards as the video abruptly ended. A pair of glowing eyes. What will you do if there is a scary noise coming out of your roof? Will you go check it out like this man did? And there he ended up seeing a creature on the roof with its eyes glowing like some kind of demon. Or was it really the demon? No one could tell as the creature disappeared, leaving the man too shocked and scared to do anything. I hope he left the country the next day because the creature looked like it might love to follow him around. A gray man. There was a place where locals kept seeing strange things and weird creatures in the woods, but no one believed them until they hid themselves there with cameras and recorded this little gray man going about his usual life in the woods. It stood there for a few seconds until it sensed humans nearby and went away from where it came from, leaving us with hundreds of questions but no one to get answers from. A dwarf. This happened in a small town in Mexico. Let me tell you, the town is famous for its unusual happenings. In this video, we see a man first playing with his dog, and then he moved the camera to a little girl who was just going about her business. And that is when a tiny creature appeared on the screen, making the girl scream in fear and run away. And that's where the video ended. A witch. Unlike most of the videos in today's list, this one was recorded in a home where 3 guys were talking while lightly playing with a ball. And that is when a short black witch-like thing appeared out of nowhere and went past them in a hurry, which scared the boys quite a lot. When it was uploaded on the internet, some said it was definitely a witch, while others couldn't help but think it was a fake video. A tiny creature. And this one is a very short video, but creepy nonetheless. While the little kid enjoyed her swing, we see a tiny creature running from somewhere behind her. Was it a dwarf, or a ghost, or something more mischievous and scary? I guess we will never know. An unknown person. A man was out driving at night to get to his home, and while he was halfway through, he saw something quite creepy. A woman dressed in fancy clothing was walking on the road. Since she was too far, we can't clearly make out of her dressing, but that's what the man said. Even though he stood there for a few minutes, the woman did not come near. She just kept walking in that area. A scary cemetery. What if you were in a cemetery visiting a loved one and you encountered a weird man who disappeared behind a pole? Well, that's exactly what happened to this man, and he approached the spot to see where the man had gone, but no one was there. So he hurried back home with 1,000 questions swirling in his mind and a great deal of fear in his heart. A giant humanoid. In a terrifying encounter in Alberta, Canada, a man captured a video that appears to unveil an enormous creature, potentially belonging to a tribe of colossal beings native to the region, leisurely walking atop of a mountain without any visible means of support. The shadowy figure is of such immense size that it was noticed by 2 individuals during their usual commute. A multitude of individuals are now filled with curiosity, questioning the validity of the legends surrounding giants in this area. Could it be that there's something far more sinister lurking within the mysterious Alberta mountains? Mermaid. This video was recorded in China and has caused controversy since then. Some say that the mermaid in the video is real, and there have been numerous sightings of mermaids in the area, while others refuse to believe it, saying it is nothing but fake. There have been no comments by the authorities, so we can't be sure. But what if it is real? The Rake. The Rake is a popular creepy urban legend, similar to Slender Man, about a humanoid creature that attacks people. In a video posted by a man on July 25, 2011, filmed near the Hudson Bridge, he heard strange noises on his roof and decided to go check out what was happening while recording it all. While exploring, he unexpectedly falls off the roof, even though he was not injured or anything. The footage revealed a terrifying creature staring back at him later, leaving us all to imagine, was that really a rake?
Hello? Oh my god.
A smart genet. Even though the video was recorded in 2014, people still can't believe what they saw. The motion detecting trail camera sent someone passing by one night and took some photos and a short video. Those photos showed a genet riding on big animals like a buffalo one night and on a rhino another night. When the video was posted on the internet, it left people speechless. Experts said that the animal did it to look for prey, and from that high point, it was easier to spot one. Isn't that one smart cat? Aliens. Now this clip might be a little blurry, but what it shows is just creepy as hell. A man was having his normal day when he felt that there was someone nearby. Considering he was in the woods, where usually no one goes, he took his camera out and started recording. And what he captured was a creature moving very quickly behind the trees.
There. Do you see it?
Its pace and height made it seem not like a human. But then, what was it? The mystery remains unknown. Someone behind the tree. This video was recorded by a group of friends who were looking for ghosts and other unusual beings they thought that would be present there. And that's exactly what they happened to come across. They were hearing strange noises, and when they went deeper into the forest to investigate, they saw a weird creature staring at them from behind the tree. As soon as they spotted it, it disappeared.
Oh shit!
A black thing. A weird black smoke-like being is what appears in this video, and this happened when an arrest was going on in Florida. Neither the police officers nor the other man had any idea about it. They remained oblivious to the thing, but the guy recording it was surely freaked out. Scary deer. This weird image was captured by a trail camera in 2022, and what we see here is a deer with scary mutations. Was this a result of some scary experiments going on with animals, or was this just some natural mutation? Nobody knows. Ghost Man. A glowy figure which appeared to have a white cloth on is what we see in this picture. But who was he? What was he doing so late at night, so deep in the woods? Nobody could tell, and people couldn't help but think that it was a ghost, as there was no way a human could wander off alone in that place at night. 3 eyes. It might look like a normal trail cam captured photo, but when you see it closely, you will see 3 glowing eyes on the left. But last time I checked, there was no animal with 3 eyes. But then, what was it? An alien or a ghost? Do let us know what you guys think. Panther. To some, it looked like a black panther, and to others, it looked like a ghostly vampire panther with such long fangs. It could be just a normal panther, but then how do we explain the glowy thing with it? It's surely a weird photo captured by the camera at the weirdest time possible. A ghost kid. Look closely and you will find a kid walking around in the woods in this picture. When the man uploaded it on Facebook, he was asking others if anyone knew who the kid was, and surprisingly, no one did. The kid's presence and identity remained unknown forever, leaving everyone until today to wonder who it was and what happened there. A weird crawling creature. Have you seen this bizarre video that's been going around? It's super short, but it shows this seriously weird creature on a random trail in the middle of nowhere. It's hard to make out what it is, but it kind of resembles a woman with a really strange posture. The thing is all muddy or dark brown and crawling around, scratching the ground with its long, skinny fingers. It also has something pointy sticking out of its head and seems to be crying. Raccoons fighting a deer. You know those pesky raccoons in North America that are always causing trouble for humans? Well, turns out they can annoy bucks too. In this video, these little thieves were initially tolerated as they stole food from the fields. But after a while, the buck's patience reached its limit. The food was running out, but the raccoons just kept showing up. There were so many raccoons, and they were so stubborn that the deer felt overwhelmed and decided to take matters into its own hooves. Eagle versus owl. Out of nowhere, a sneaky owl swoops down and surprises an unsuspecting eagle with a sudden attack. The eagle tries its best to fight back, but unfortunately, it doesn't stand a chance. It's pretty unusual to see an owl acting so aggressively, and experts are baffled trying to figure out what triggered this unexpected behavior. We're still in the dark about why the owl did what it did, leaving us with lots of questions about the wonders of the animal kingdom. Breathing Earth. This trail cam video showed us how Earth was actually moving up and down like it was tired from spinning and orbiting the sun non-stop. It's like the Earth needed a break to catch its breath. They call it breathing Earth when the ground gets loose and the wind is extra strong, making it move up and down as if it's taking a breath. If you don't know what it was, it would definitely freak you out. You might think the Earth is about to swallow you up, but it's not for the faint-hearted. Real mermaid found swimming. Check out this cool video of a mermaid swimming underwater. It looks so real. The mermaid's tail is super thin and lifelike, and it's swimming way faster than any human could. The other sea creatures around it seem totally chill, like they see mermaids all the time. If it was a person, those fish would be freaking out. A Tasmanian tiger. Guess what? There's this mysterious footage that's causing a big debate online. It's from a trail camera, and for a few seconds, you can see this blurry creature that some people think could be the Tasmanian tiger, a species believed to be extinct. Since the video quality isn't great and it's nighttime, we can't be sure if it's legit. A weird woman. Here's a strange story about a woman in a white dress who was walking in the middle of the road at night. Her walk was so weird that anyone would feel creeped out by it. It's unclear whether she was a witch or just an old woman in need of help. We'll probably never find out. Black creepy creature. Two farmers in Mexico were woken up in the middle of the night by their goats going crazy. They rushed outside to see what the commotion was about, and guess what? They found a weird black creature clinging onto one of their goats' necks. They tried everything to get it off, but it took a few minutes of struggling before it finally let go and scurried off into the woods. The farmers even tried to chase after it, but it vanished into thin air. Can you believe it? What do you think that strange creature could be, and where did it come from? The mystery remains unsolved. Face-changing woman. Here's a super creepy video caught on a security camera. When it first went online, it blew everyone's minds. Not only do the woman's eyes glow, but she also undergoes some freaky face changing. We don't know who she is for sure, but this video will definitely give you the creeps every time you watch it. A little ghost. This scary video was recorded in the woods where a little ghost dressed as a human was seen hopping around. But wait until it turns towards the camera. And that's when you see that the little ghost is a dog dressed as a little girl and was just annoying some peaceful moments in the woods. The scariest clip. This video was uploaded a few years back on YouTube and scared the whole world. It shows what appears to be two girls in skirts, one holding the other one and smashing her here and there while walking on a wall. For me, it is the most terrifying clip out there. Skinwalker. The woman was enjoying her peaceful sleep in her room when she heard weird noises. As she woke up, she saw this weird as hell goat coming into her room. But things weren't very scary until the goat opened its mouth. If it were me, I wouldn't know what I would have done. Seriously. A dead mermaid. Are mermaids actually not real? Or are these scientists and experts hiding things from us? Because there's a hell of a lot of proof out there that shows they might be real. Just like this video where a dead mermaid is being filmed by a man. Maybe it isn't like what we all have imagined, but it is the closest anything could get to a definition of a mermaid. A thief. This clip was recorded in 2018 and was posted on the internet with a caption saying, "Ghost caught on camera." However, if you look closely, it only looks like a kid trying to sneak into a home. And then there's another kid sitting there. And not just that, we see a ghost walking on the roof too. So what do you guys think? Isn't that creepy? A haunted hospital. In July 2022, something strange happened in a hospital. While we see people waiting in the lobby, a surgeon appears, scared as hell, and runs away tripping here and there. The people there did not give it much importance until they see a wheelchair coming from the left, and then it turns towards them on its own. That's when they knew it wasn't something funny. It was a haunted hospital. A ghost on highway. While driving on the Queensland highway, the driver had no idea something surprising was about to happen. As he kept driving, he noticed something strange on the side of the road. To his surprise, he and other people saw a ghostly figure standing right in the middle of the road. The ghost looked like a pure white child floating just a little bit above the ground. This spooky sighting became famous and many people started calling it the ghost child. However, some people who didn't believe in ghosts argued that it might not be real. Creature feeding on a goat. In Mexico, two farmers were woken up by their goats crying late at night. Concerned for their animals, they hurried outside to see what was going on. To their surprise, they discovered a black, unfamiliar creature hanging from one of the goat's necks. Despite their attempts to free the goat, the creature stubbornly clung on. After a few minutes of struggle, it finally let go and ran away into the woods. The farmers tried to pursue it, but were unsuccessful. The identity and origin of this strange creature remain a mystery. A werewolf. A farmer in South Africa stumbled upon a sight that he never anticipated. He found a dead werewolf on his farm, which was later taken by researchers for investigation. Disturbing photos and videos of the werewolf were later uploaded by unknown individuals, causing fear in those who saw them. Despite being taken for further examination, no explanation was provided, adding to the mystery surrounding the event. A sea dragon. In Vietnam, a farmer went to a nearby pond and witnessed something that many would consider impossible. As seen in the video, the face of a dragon emerged from the water's surface. The dragon briefly looked around as if searching for someone, and the video ends at that point. Was it truly a dragon or some type of sea monster? Share your thoughts on what you believe it could be. A mysterious creature attack. A man in a backyard was captured on a CCTV camera being attacked and dragged by a mysterious creature. Some people might think it's not real, but I've watched it a few times and it seems genuine to me. The way the guy fights back and then gets thrown back to where he started is absolutely crazy. I don't know what it could be, but I hope the person involved is okay now. It's definitely something that makes you wonder about the unknown things in the world. An unknown attacker. Farmers in Puerto Rico were getting worried as their animals kept getting attacked by an unknown predator. Investigators tried to figure out what it was, but they couldn't find any clues. Initially, people thought it was a wolf, but the footprints didn't match. Some people claimed to have seen something like an ape and called it a chupacabra. It mostly targeted goats. The whole situation was scary and kept everyone on edge. And even though it happened a few years ago, the mystery remains unsolved. A dogman. In South Africa, a strange creature has been spotted roaming around town. It looks like a mix of a man and a dog, and it lives and eats with other dogs. There are many rumors and fears surrounding it, but nobody has been able to get close and learn more. We only have blurry camera footage of it walking with its furry friends. The big question is whether it's just a man with mental issues or something more unusual. Let us know your thoughts. A giant bat. Imagine you're a farmer, excited to start your day and work in the field with your animals. But when you arrive, this is what you see. Not a pleasant sight, right? Well, that's exactly what happened to this farmer who encountered the world's largest bat in his field. It's so big that people refer to it as the flying fox. A human-faced fish. Now, let's watch this astonishing video from China where a fish was discovered that has a face resembling a human's. The video became extremely popular in November 2019, and people were completely startled. Some people believe it was a carp with a face that looked like a human's, but we can't be certain. Although the video is authentic, it's possible that the way the fish's scales appear on the camera's angle might have created that illusion. What do you think? A mummified dog. We all adore dogs, right? But have you seen Stucky, the dog that got mummified? A farmer discovered this well-preserved dog while working in the forest and cutting down trees. Trapped inside a tree trunk, he was protected from predators, insects, and the weather. How did this occur, you may wonder? It's a mystery. Some theories propose that the dog might have become trapped and died while inside the oak tree. Whatever the reason, it's truly astonishing to witness how well nature can preserve things. Take a look at the picture of Stucky, and you'll understand why it's simultaneously eerie and magnificent. Horse eating chicken. Get ready to be amazed by something incredible, straight from the farm. If you love horses and think they're the most gentle creatures, you might want to take a seat for this. In this video, we witness a horse doing something unexpected, devouring a family of chickens by eating one of the little chicks. The mother chicken tries her best to protect her offspring, but she's no match for the enormous horse. It's shocking to observe such behavior from a seemingly peaceful animal, but it serves as a reminder that animals can surprise us in various ways. A spy gorilla. Trail cameras mounted on trees recording animals is an old thing now. Spy cameras dressed and set as actual animals is the new thing now, and we see that in this video, which shows a spy gorilla camera in action. At first, the clan thought it to be weird and had to do a little inspection before they made the decision that the gorilla is no harm, so they'll let it stay. And that's when the camera recorded the beautiful moments of the gorilla family. A mutant calf. A farmer in North Macedonia was ecstatic as his cow was expected to deliver twins. But what actually happened left him in shock. Instead of two healthy calves, a mutant calf with two heads was born. The skulls were fused together, and it was unclear what caused this strange occurrence. Despite surviving for a few days, the vets believed that it would not live much longer. But according to the latest news, the calf is still alive. Maybe it'll actually live just as long as usual calves do. A scary ghost. Let's check out this clip captured on a home security camera outside a house. You can hear faint footsteps before a blurry figure appears and moves across the screen. Since the video quality is poor, it's hard to make out any details. Is it a prowler, or could it be something paranormal? Upon closer inspection, the figure seems to briefly disappear when it reaches the center of the screen. This leaves us wondering if it's just a camera glitch, or if there's something more sinister going on. Two-headed cow. In 2015, a farmer named Dwight Cruz in Florida had an astonishing experience when his cow gave birth to a calf with two faces. The calf, named Annabelle, had 2 heads, 4 eyes, 2 ears, 2 mouths, and 2 noses. However, it also had 2 brains, which made it difficult for the calf to coordinate and feed from its mother. Consequently, the farm owner had to feed the poor baby with a bottle. Known as dicephalic parapagus, occurs when the embryo fails to split correctly during pregnancy and could be genetic. A strange monkey. Riding through the peaceful forest, a lone biker suddenly comes across a strange and mysterious creature. As a cyclist gets closer to a narrow trail surrounded by tall walls, a weird and otherworldly being jumps down from the wall and almost crashes into the biker. Surprised, the cyclist stops to look for the creature, but it has disappeared without a trace. Because of its strange look and incredible speed, it's hard to figure out exactly what this creature could be. Californian coast mermaid. In the video, we can see the mermaid swaying its tail in an impressive way. The tail movement confirms that it's a real mermaid, and not a person wearing a mermaid tail, as no one can shake a fake tail that skillfully. The video is a bit blurry, but I believe it's genuine, and not some edited nonsense people post on social media. There's plenty of evidence supporting the existence of this species, and I genuinely think they exist, but we humans still need to uncover their secret hiding spots. Dancing bear. When a wildlife channel placed cameras in the jungle, their goal was to capture footage of animals being themselves. What they didn't expect was to witness bears shaking their behinds and moving like Shakira in the woods. Just like us humans, bears get itchy sometimes. But unlike us, they scratch their backs on trees, and they absolutely love doing it. I mean, look at them. A woman stabbing herself. You won't believe what I just saw in this video. So it was late at night, and this guy was driving his usual route when he came across something super creepy. He was like, nope, I'm turning back and getting out of here. There was this ghostly woman in the middle of the road, holding a knife, and she was actually stabbing herself. Can you imagine? What would you do if you witnessed that? Animals reacting to reflections. There was a French photographer who decided to set up a camera and a big mirror in the middle of the jungle. He wanted to see how the animals would react to their own reflections. And guess what? It turned out way crazier than he expected. The leopard couldn't get enough of itself. The gorilla saw it as a chance to have a fight with its own reflection. And the elephant didn't really care much. But the chimpanzees, oh boy, they had a blast checking themselves out while scratching. Mermaid on the dock. Imagine there's a dock and out of nowhere a mermaid shows up. She looks all confused, swimming back and forth like she's trying to find her way to the water. But here's the strange part. There were people around, and they didn't do anything. I mean, come on, if I saw a mermaid, I'd be freaking out. You'd think someone would have called the authorities or something. Now, there's a big debate about whether this video is real or edited. Nobody really knows for sure. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. Dobby. Imagine if the magical world from the books and movies were actually real. Well, after watching this video of a creature that looks just like Dobby, I can't help but wonder if there's a hidden realm of magic out there that we humans don't know about. This creature was doing some kind of funky dance with its thin legs, and trust me, it definitely wasn't a human or some kid doing a chicken dance. A witch. This spooky video was recorded in Mexico in 2006. You can see a mysterious figure flying through the sky on a broomstick. Some people think it's a witch. The locals had been talking about these witches for ages, but nobody had any proof until this footage was taken. The witch's flight looks a bit shaky, so maybe she's a new witch still practicing her flying skills. Man vanished. This Ring camera recorded a man walking on the street at night, but just after a few seconds, he appeared to have vanished in thin air. It was in the middle of the camera's view, so we cannot say that he may have walked to the edge of the view. Now, how did this happen and who exactly was the man? This answer remained unknown, as the woman whose camera recorded it said she had never seen him before. A brave mongoose. Prepare to be amazed by this wild encounter. So, a lion comes across a mongoose and decides to have some fun with it. The poor mongoose gets caught, but it refuses to give up. It keeps trying to escape, even though the lion is determined to keep it as a plaything. This back and forth goes on for minutes, and just when it seems like the mongoose is done for, the lion gets distracted by another lion. That's the mongoose's chance to make a break for it. Fighting pandas. In this video, two big pandas are fighting like crazy, and it's leaving us all shocked and confused. Normally, these gentle creatures are all about munching on bamboo, playing around, and doing cute somersaults. But it turns out, even pandas can get feisty sometimes. We don't really know why they suddenly got so aggressive. A cute fight. I mean, let's be honest, for the bunny gang, this fight was probably a big deal. But if we as humans saw these two bunnies trying to throw punches while hopping around in perfect sync, it would be hard not to find it absolutely adorable. Of course, I'm not saying we should jump in and break it up. Who knows, we might end up with a bunny punch right in the face too, right? Dirt bath. Who says birds don't need a spa day? These sparrows are taking their grooming routine to a whole new level in the woods. They're into this thing called dirt bathing. Basically, they cover themselves in dirt to keep their feathers healthy and prevent too much oil buildup. It's quite a sight to see these birds dipping themselves in the dirt, rolling around and flapping their wings to make sure every feather gets coated. They're pretty hygienic for little creatures, don't you think? A trail cam thief. So there's this coyote just strolling through the woods when it spots a trail camera nearby. Well, it seems like the camera caught its attention because it kept coming back trying to snatch it. After a few tries, it actually succeeded and bolted away with the camera as fast and as far as it could. The camera had quite an adventure with the coyote, getting all battered and scratched until its rightful owner found it. A snake. Alright, so in this video, we've got this guy who decides to take a picture in the woods. He sets up the camera and steps back to get the perfect shot. Little did he know, while he's crouching down for the pic, a sneaky snake drops down from above and scares the living daylights out of him. In a panic, he chucks the snake away and runs for his dear life. A bear on rope. A cool video of a big black bear in Canada was captured by the Garrett Bros Outfitting YouTube channel back in 2013. The bear was determined to reach a hanging beaver that was out of its grasp. So it showed off its strength and athletic skills by climbing a tree and hanging from a rope. Despite its best efforts, the bear couldn't reach the beaver and ended up falling down. It gave up on its meal in the end. A trespassing bear. In this funny incident, a bear trespassed onto someone's property at night and tried to snack on some chickens. It attempted to break into the chicken coop, but got startled by a strange voice and decided to run away as fast as possible. Turns out, the owner, Haley, woke up in the middle of the night and shouted at the bear from a window to scare it off. Witch in a graveyard. While exploring a graveyard in Hungary, a guy who was researching ghosts and unusual artifacts came across a spooky encounter. He stumbled upon necklaces made from human teeth and an abandoned graveyard. To his surprise, he discovered a goth-looking woman, possibly a witch, hiding in the area. Instead of running away, he shouted at her, causing her to gather her things and flee. The guy tried to chase after her into the forest, but suddenly fell to the ground as if something was holding his feet down. A cult. This next video is seriously eerie. So imagine a car driving along a dark road at night, right? Suddenly, out of nowhere, a bunch of guys dressed like, guess who? Charlie Chaplin. Yeah, I know, weird, right? Anyway, what's even creepier is when they all stop to peek into the car, and then there's this mysterious light in the background. Oh, and there's this one guy wearing a mask too. Two babies. So there's this cute bear cub named Boog, and guess what he finds in his living room? A baby deer is just chilling there. At first, Boog is kinda careful, slowly approaching the little deer. But the deer is like, nah, I'm not interested, and ignores Boog's attempts to be buddies. But you know what? Boog doesn't give up. He's patient and keeps trying until he finally wins her over. and then they have this adorable little encounter. Who says animals can't be friends, right? A bear. So you know how bears are usually all fluffy and adorable? Well, let me tell you, don't invade their personal space, my friend. They can get pretty feisty. In this video, we've got a little bear who stumbled upon a trail camera, and boy oh boy, he wasn't having any of it. He went crazy shaking and wiggling that camera until it broke. I mean, it's hilarious to watch, but I kind of feel sorry for the poor camera. Vanished baby. So picture this, a baby girl sitting in her crib minding her own business. And then, out of nowhere in just 2 seconds, a hand comes in and snatches the baby away. Vanished, just like that. It's super creepy, especially when you slow down the video. All you can see is this scary looking hand slipping through the crib's back and grabbing the baby. Some people might think it's fake, but if you look closely, there's no visible editing. A brave cat. Check out this funny video where a cat saves a little boy from a dog who's trying to play rough. The dog grabs the boy's leg, but the clever cat kicks the dog hard. Then the boy's mom rushes in to help while the fearless cat scares the dog away. It just goes to show that cats can be protectors too, and dogs aren't always the only ones looking out for us. Caught in the act. This not-so-smart thief thought he could take a trail camera from the woods, but guess what? It was securely attached to a tree. He pulled and tugged with all his might, but couldn't budge it. Eventually, he gave up and left the camera hanging upside down. Now he's become an internet sensation for all the wrong reasons. So, remember kids, crime doesn't pay, especially when you end up being the laughingstock of the internet. Witch performing fire ritual. Back in 1970, a German journalist named Ralph Olsen captured some really spooky footage while traveling in Africa. He stumbled upon a shaman in a rural area who was performing a magic ritual to connect with spirits. The witch lived in the hills and started by creating a ring of fire. As her followers chanted, she slowly levitated off the ground and then came back down. This happened multiple times. When the journalist shared the footage, people in the broadcasting community made fun of him, ruining his reputation. A pixie. You know those little fairy-like creatures called pixies? Well, they're mostly from mythology, but there have been times when people saw things that made them think otherwise. This video shows exactly what pixies might look like if they were real. Imagine a tiny being popping its head out of a mountain cave. It seemed like it was checking out the man filming it. It only stayed for a few seconds before disappearing back into the cave. A strange hiding creature. This guy was exploring the jungle, being all adventurous when he stumbled upon a cave. Of course, he couldn't resist going in to check it out. But guess what? He found something he never expected. A creepy creature crawling towards him in the dark. Talk about a heart-pounding moment. He ran out of there as fast as his feet could carry him. We still don't know what that thing was, but it definitely wasn't Spider-Man. A levitating girl. So this Russian guy was out walking in the woods with his dog, having a nice stroll. Suddenly, his dog stopped listening to him and started barking at something. That's when the guy decided to point his camera in that direction. And guess what? He recorded something that shocked not only him, but the whole world. There was a woman with a child, but instead of standing or running like normal humans, the child was floating in the air, and the woman was just staring at her. As soon as they noticed someone nearby, they both ran away. A close call. Imagine a man was having a great time hiking in the mountains, feeling all one with nature. But guess what? His peaceful adventure took a wild turn when he realized he was being chased by a mountain lion. Can you imagine the adrenaline rush? He ran for his life as soon as he saw and heard the lion following him. Luckily, he scared the lion away with a mighty roar. A mermaid skeleton. So there's this video that popped up showing what they say is a mermaid skeleton found on a hidden beach. The footage showed a skull that looked like a human and some tailbones. But wait a minute, before you get all worked up, turns out it's not as legit as it seemed. The whole thing is pretty suspicious, and people quickly dismiss the bones as a hoax. A scary road. In the deep forest, there's this creepy road surrounded by tall trees. The moonlight makes the shadows look really spooky on the ground. All of a sudden, a camera starts recording, and it catches something super scary. You can hear strange noises getting louder and closer, like something unknown is coming. It becomes clear that whatever is making those sounds isn't human. The camera shows these creepy figures moving really fast between the trees, and their eyes glow in the dark, giving you the chills. Woman turns into fire. This old video that's been floating around the internet for years. The interesting thing about it is that people still can't figure out if it's real or fake. The story goes that there was this woman up to no good, and when the locals confronted her, she escaped by transforming into fire and flying away. Pretty wild, huh? The Death Circle. This eerie video was captured by a guy who stepped outside his house and spotted a bunch of turkeys acting strangely. These turkeys were going round and round a dead cat lying on the road. When it went viral, everyone was baffled. But we've got the explanation for you. Researchers say that turkeys mistook the cat for a threat, so they began investigating. Since turkeys tend to stick together, when one started circling, the rest followed, creating this weird loop we now call the Death Circle. A super goat. Have you ever seen a super buff goat? If you haven't, we're about to show you something awesome. So this guy was out hiking in the mountains, just enjoying nature and all that. And guess what he stumbled upon? This seriously ripped goat. He knew he had to capture it on his phone and share it with everyone. And guess what? The video went crazy viral on Twitter, racking up a whopping 4 million views. People couldn't help but be amazed by the goat's incredible physique. An unknown animal. It's small like a squirrel, but its face is more like a monkey, you know? A farmer caught it on camera while wandering around the woods, but we're clueless about what it actually is. If any of you have any bright ideas, let us in on the secret, okay? An alien. It's a bit fuzzy and low res, but what it captures is absolutely unbelievable. Picture this: a creature with a head shaped like a hammer suddenly pops up on a camper's roof, screams its lungs out, and then vanishes into thin air. Some folks thought it resembled a dog, while others said a monkey. But honestly, it didn't look like any of those critters to us. So what the heck was it? Nobody knows. Ghost bike. A bike going on its own when the riders fall off of them in the race is one thing, and a park bike that just decides to change its place while no one else is around is something on another level. And that's exactly what this bike did. It was peacefully standing at a side, but then it looked like the bike got bored and thought it should go stand somewhere else. So it did exactly that. Was it a ghost doing that? Or was it some other factor? Do let me know what you guys think. An unknown being. At first, I thought it was just a large beaver, but then it started moving, and that was just as weird as anything can be. This video was recorded by a man from a very safe distance. It even looked like the creature didn't even notice someone recording it, or maybe it did and just wanted to move away. Still, the fact that the creature didn't attack the man and went on its way is something to be considered here. Something on the road. These men were just having fun on their way home. One of their friends even started walking on his own and didn't sit in the car. But after a minute, they saw him running back towards the car, all terrified. And as the car moved forward, everyone could see why that was. A weird creature sat on the road, crawling creepily towards one side. What was that? No one could tell. Just an animal stuck in a bush or something else. A creature in hiding. Let's say you're sitting in your classroom and you feel that someone is watching you. As you look up, you see these two eyes peeping out. This is exactly what happened to this guy, and these eyes look really scary if you ask me. If I were there, I would have just made a run for it no matter what I was doing. A UFO. What's scarier than a volcanic eruption? A UFO on top of the eruption happening. And this is what this video shows us all. God knows what these aliens are thinking. Or are they hiding something in there? We're not sure. But do let us know what you guys think. Two ghost buddies. This man was going through the camera's recordings for some purpose, but what he saw there was just too terrifying not to share on the internet. As the minutes pass, we see two figures emerging from the right side of the screen. It looked like a big man who was holding the other one, which looked like an animal or something. What exactly were those? No one could tell. All we have is this recording and 100 questions. A merman. Was it a mermaid or a merman? It's pretty confusing because it looked like both. but it's creepy as hell, and there's no confusion in that. It was recorded by a man who uploaded it anonymously, so we're not sure about the origins. But to people who saw it, it looked more like a sea monster or alien than a mermaid. What do you guys think? An unknown critter. Some friends thought it'd be a good idea to go check out an abandoned house, which was also famous for being haunted. Upon going inside, they examined everything, including the pool area and other areas, when they heard creepy noises. As the camera moved towards the direction of the voices, a weird creature came into view, half sitting on the roof. As soon as it spotted the guys, it moved onto the roof, and that's when the men ran out of the house and the video ended. A dragon. If you think dragons only exist in movies, you will find yourself having second thoughts after watching this clip. It shows a huge dragon-like creature flying in the sky. Apparently, it was recorded somewhere in England and left viewers in shock considering its size. Do you think it's real or just a fake? Don't forget to let us know in the comments. Aliens. This video was recorded on a trail camera in 2019 in Brazil. While the man said his camera had never before captured something so strange, it was an alien-like figure that appeared this time on it. The creature looked like it was trying to inspect the camera and what it does. However, some people also claim that the alien was later caught by the authorities, but they never told anyone about it. Someone in the cave. A woman was out there exploring the mountains when she decided to go inside a cave she saw and inspect it thoroughly. A short while after going deeper into the cave, she saw a weird white creature. The figure seemed very odd. It appeared to be scaling the walls or something and did not come near the woman, even though she stood there for a few minutes. What exactly was that? Well, there's no answer to that. A ghost man. This guy, let's call him a mystery man or a superhero, doesn't really matter what you label him because his moves are straight up mind-blowing. He zooms around at super speed, grabs that little girl and whisks her away to safety in just a few seconds. Anyone who watches that video is left dumbfounded by his sudden burst of courage. But before you can even wrap your head around what just went down, the hero's already vanished into thin air, leaving everyone in awe and wondering what the heck just happened. Hellhound. Now let's talk about hellhounds. These supernatural dogs are supposed to guard the gates of hell. Ancient Greece had stories about them, including one about a three-headed dog named Cerberus. Legend has it that if you look into its eyes 3 times or more, you'll drop dead on the spot. In this video from the TV show Mountain Monsters, they claim to have captured a real-life hellhound. The host interviewed a guy who said he caught the elusive creature on tape. The footage shows a black 4-legged beast. People all over the world are going crazy over it, wondering if this video is legit or not. Billy. You know those mythical creatures called centaurs? They're like humans with a horse's body. Well, check out this newborn goat from Argentina. It has a face that looks human. When the folks in the town saw it, they thought something magical must have been involved in its birth. Some say it's just a weird birth defect, but most people are calling it a real-life centaur. We've seen some bizarre animal videos on the internet, but nothing quite like this goat with a human-like face. Montauk Monster. In July 2008 in New York, 2 friends were out to take a walk along the shore, not knowing what was about to come next. Lying a few feet away was a dead creature that no one had ever seen before. It was the size of a small dog, a beak like a chicken, and a tail again like a dog. It was hairless but had small patches of hair on it. They posted the picture they took later on the internet, and everyone was left shocked with not even a single person giving a logical explanation. No reflection. At first, everything seems normal, but then you'll notice something strange happening. Customers start leaving the store one by one. The first person's reflection can be seen in the big mirror on the wall, along with a woman sitting nearby. But when a man in a black suit walks by the mirror, there's no reflection at all. What's going on here? Watch the video and see for yourself. It's a real mystery that'll make you wonder what's really happening. Cyclops. You know that Cyclops from the Hercules movie, right? That big one-eyed dude who helped Zeus kick some Titan butt? Well, guess what? There's an actual one-eyed Cyclops goat in India, and we're all wondering how it's still alive. You'd expect that giant eye to give it supervision compared to the other goats, but sadly, it's just a deformity. The locals even think this goat's eye has some mythical powers, so now they're worshipping it and all. Crazy, huh? A grandpa. This video shows an old man and a young kid walking together. Clearly, the old man is the kid's grandpa. Out of nowhere, a super fast figure zooms towards them, just seconds before a rock comes crashing down right where they were standing. This speedy figure swiftly moves them out of danger. Who or what could this mysterious figure be? Is it a guardian angel or something else entirely? This video leaves us with so many questions and makes us think about all the possibilities. Check it out. A cat. Have you ever seen something that's totally weird and makes no sense? Check out this video I found on a home security camera in Austin, Texas. So there's this cat walking up the path, and when it gets to a spot with light, boom, it just disappears out of nowhere. What in the world could have caused that? Was it some kind of light trick? Or did the cat actually vanish? This video is like a peek into the unknown, making us wonder what the heck really happened. A possessed baby. Now get ready for one of the freakiest and most confusing things you'll ever witness. Imagine a baby's room at night. Nothing out of the ordinary, right? Well, hold on tight, because things get seriously bizarre. Out of the blue, the baby in the crib decides to climb up the side of the railings, and wait for it. The baby actually bounces on top of the railing for a crazy 22 seconds. It's like a scene from a horror flick. But guess what? It's all caught on a nanny cam. This whole situation is just too strange and creepy. It sends chills down your spine as you watch. A creepy baby. So there's this dad recording his adorable son, just doing his usual playful thing. Everything seems normal until the baby looks away from the mirror and turns towards the camera. And that's when things get a little spooky. When the baby looks into the camera, the reflection in the mirror is slow to catch up. It's like something or someone is messing with the reflection, you know? This video with the delayed reflection is gonna give you the creeps and make you question if what you saw was real. What's your take on what's really happening here? Bigfoot. Okay, so these two kids are out exploring the jungle, right? They got their camera with them and suddenly, boom, they stumble upon something mind-blowing. Guess what? They actually caught footage of Bigfoot wandering around. And let me tell you, this creature is huge. I mean, it's like nothing you've ever seen before. The way it swings its arms is kind of familiar, like a gorilla, but also different. It's like Bigfoot thinks it's alone, you know, like nobody's watching. Baby owls. Let's check out this video of two baby owls that look like they're from another planet. Their big round eyes and strange movements are so captivating. It's like they're taking in everything around them and trying to figure it all out. It's a really cool peek into the lives of these unique creatures, and a reminder that nature always has surprises in store. A creepy cat. Now, there's this video of a cat doing the weirdest things ever. It stands on its back legs, walks to the table, somehow grows bigger, and then just stands there. It's honestly so bizarre, I can't even explain what's happening. Even if you watch it in reverse, it's still super creepy. Check it out for yourself. Magnapinna squid. Have you ever heard of the Magnapinna squid? It's a super mysterious and sneaky creature that hangs out in the deep ocean, especially near the Mariana Trench. What makes it really creepy is its crazy long and skinny arms, which can be 10 times longer than its body. And get this, it even has fins sticking out from its body. So when you put it all together, this squid is basically a nightmare come to life. It's hardly ever been spotted, so scientists don't know much about it. It's like a secret from the deep sea. Night crawlers. Ever heard of these things called night crawlers or soul walkers? They're these creepy yet strangely calming creatures, man. So there's this video from 2011 in California, and it shows these two stick-like figures casually strolling through the woods. You know, it's almost like they're a ghost family. One looks like a baby ghost, and the other might be a ghost mom or dad. It's actually quite peaceful and serene, and I really hope they were able to continue their nighttime wanderings without any disturbances, you know? Trail cams can turn out to be the ultimate ghost catchers, if put out there for long times. From two siblings who went behind a creepy thing to someone attacking another trail cam, here are the times when unknown things were captured on trail cams. A shadow. While a trail cam was at its usual work, something strange happened. A shadow of some creature appeared on the left side. and then it seemed like the creature went away without coming in front of the camera. The shadow remained unidentified, even by the authorities, with some people wondering if it could be Bigfoot, while others suggested it might be a bear or a gorilla. A weird creature. While the man was trying to catch some fish to take home, he saw a weird creature swimming around in the water. It was unlike anything he had ever seen before, so he decided to capture it on camera and show it to others. Upon seeing the footage, people couldn't identify any animal that resembled this creature. The eyes, the skin color, what kind of fish could it be? Or is it the sea monster people have been talking about? Creepy siblings. At first we see two little kids going somewhere. The fact that it was recorded on a trail cam at a very late hour is in itself pretty creepy. Then we see a weird creature behind the bushes signaling for them to come near. Who were those two kids? Where did they come from? And why did they go near that thing? These are some of the questions everyone asked after watching the clip, but no one provided any answers. A ghost. Out in the woods, two friends were with their dogs when they happened to capture a real ghost while filming their cute little doggo. The ghost boy appears in the top left corner of the screen and then vanishes into thin air in a second. The boys mentioned that they had been going into the woods for quite some time and had never seen anything like that before. Hungry eyes. This motion-activated trail cam was triggered when a bear came nearby, and as the flashlight turned on, the bear's eyes turned into two glowing eyes. The bear seemed pretty annoyed by the light and appeared to be saying something before it went off screen after a few minutes. Regardless of what others say, those two hungry eyes are the most terrifying, especially if it was a person there rather than the camera. Bath time. Eagles are usually caught on camera fighting each other or hunting snakes, or things like that. It is rather unusual to see an eagle enjoying a relaxing bath with no one around. The footage was recorded on a trail camera in 2022, and perhaps the temperature was a little too much for the eagle to deviate from its usual routine and have a nice bath first. Piebald fawn. For those who don't know, piebald deer are deer that have blotches of white coloration on portions of their hide that are usually dark in color, and they are quite rare to encounter in the wild. However, this trail camera succeeded in capturing one in 2021, and the owner was just too happy and excited not to share it online. Of course, he had to let others know about it. An attack on trail camera. This video was recently recorded on May 17, 2023, and showed a creature attacking the trail camera, which was doing nothing to offend that thing so much. When uploaded online, people said that it must be a Sasquatch, as the creature made sure the camera did not catch its face or anything, and kept attacking it from the left side. Turkey vulture rice. Vultures are known for being epic scavengers, but what this trail camera recorded was a little unusual and somewhat terrifying. These two turkey vultures were spotted having a fight, which did not last long, but looked just as deadly as anything can be. With such a short clip, we couldn't get the whole view or any kind of context as to why these two were having a fight. A surprise. A man who set up a trail camera in different places in the woods near his home decided to have a little surprise for all the animals. He put bunny bears everywhere, and then waited until the animals came and had little interactions with the bunnies. The raccoons loved it, porcupines loved it, and even bears loved their gift. They all had cute little interactions with the gift the man had given them. A ghost dog. This 7-second long video shows a girl having fun with her dog, and the guy recording them. But was that a dog that was following her? And was it the same dog that appeared from the right side? This might be the most confusing clip I have ever seen. And yeah, it does look like the dog that was following her at first might be a ghost dog. Or was that a glitch in the Matrix? Goblin cat. Cats come in many different shapes and sizes, but this one truly is very unique and weirder than all others. The long legs and the small face. Is it some kind of disease the cat has, or is it something else? People call it the goblin cat and think that it was a result of some kind of genetic mutation. And considering the things that have been happening these days, anything can be possible. Batman. What will happen if you're going somewhere and you see this sitting on a tree branch right in front of you? Won't you be scared as hell? Well, so were these people who actually saw it. And as soon as the car from which they were recording went near, the creature flew away. Now, I know most of you would say it is fake, but let's say it's not. Wouldn't that be frightening? Alien. This woman was out in the woods when she heard weird noises. Curious, she had to go see what it was. So she turned her camera on and went towards the place the noises were coming from. And that is when this creature appeared from behind the tree. Was it an alien, or was it someone in a weird alien costume? No one could tell, as the video abruptly ended without us reaching any conclusions. Teleportation. Two friends were out at night having a little walk in the neighborhood when they were caught on a nearby CCTV camera. A second passed, and we see one of the friends vanishing from the scene. It happened like in alien movies where the cows get teleported by the aliens. The other friend seemed pretty oblivious to what had just happened, which led us to think that the video might be fake. Still, nothing is for sure. A creepy boy. A couple had been hearing scary noises from the house every night, so they decided to install Ring cameras everywhere. And one night, they recorded this, a creepy doll walking around in the hallway, and then in the bedroom as well. The doll's arms moved in the creepiest way possible, and the video ended with the doll entering the bedroom and kind of sensing the camera. What happened afterward? Nobody knows. Skinwalker. Ever wondered what animals do when no one is looking at them? Well, this huge goat walking in the most terrifying way will answer that for you. It must have thought that no humans were nearby, so it started walking like that, on its back legs, going towards the other goats. It looks like something straight out of hell. What do you guys think? A close call. This guy was out in the wilderness filming a video, just minding his own business, when all of a sudden, he sees something bolting towards him like a bat out of hell. And guess what? It's a freaking mountain lion! Yeah, you heard me right. This guy is staring down a big, wild apex predator. But you know what's even crazier? He manages to narrowly escape like a boss. This dude had a seriously close call.
No, you taste, dude.
But he lives to tell the tale, and we're all glad he made it out in one piece. Weird creature in woods. Well, on their routine bike ride along steep tracks, a group of bikers encountered a terrifying experience that would haunt them forever. As they ventured deeper into the forest, a strange humanoid creature suddenly emerged from the side of the track and quickly started running away. The sight of the creature caused one of the bikers to lose control and fall off his bike. Shocked, the biker with the camera attempted to chase after the creature, but to his surprise, it vanished into thin air, leaving him bewildered. An unusual friendship. An incredible video aired on an Indian news channel featuring the most mind-blowing thing ever. A leopard visited a cow every night, and they had their own secret friendship going on while the humans snoozed. Upon investigation, it was discovered that the cow had taken care of the leopard when it was a baby, and now the leopard was not ready to let go of its caregiver. How sweet is that? A dinosaur. Even though the video is made by an amateur and we don't know who made it, it's perfect for our list. Can you imagine that there's a pterosaur flying in the sky? We know about pterosaurs because of fossils in movies, but we can't see them anymore. But some lucky people saw one and filmed it. I'm happy we have the video. Do you think it's real or just for attention? An embarrassed gator. Most folks would bolt to the side of an alligator, but not these guys. This couple not only keeps one as a pet, but also knows how to make it blush. When the gator struggled to chomp down some grub, it got bashful and decided to give up and take a dip in the water instead. Aw, poor fella. Well, that's all for today, guys. Thank you for watching the video. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon for getting updates related to our latest videos.
Dude, what is that? Let's get the hell out of here. I'm not getting near that.
We all do crazy stuff when we think nobody is watching us. And this is the case with every living being on Earth. From tiny aliens, suspected UFOs, and guardian angels, to weird sea creatures and mountain witches. Let's start today's journey where a camera captured what no one was supposed to see. Man vanished. This Ring camera recorded a man walking on the street at night, but just after a few seconds, he appeared to have vanished in thin air. It was in the middle of the camera's view, so we cannot say that he may have walked to the edge of the view. Now, how did this happen and who exactly was the man? This answer remained unknown, as the woman whose camera recorded it said she had never seen him before. Fish crossing road. A year ago, people in Washington saw this weird phenomena happening. A number of fishes were seen crossing the road. Just like you and me, they were all so shocked to see how these salmon fishes were showing this unusual behavior. However, this scenario is the result of the river flooding. What you're seeing are salmon going from a field that they've been washed into, back across the road to get back into the river to continue their journey. This doesn't happen very often, but when it does, some salmon that get washed out do this to make it back. A flipping spider. What you're seeing right here is a spider which is newly discovered. When the researchers saw it for the first time flip-flopping its way through the desert, they were astonished. At first, it was thought that something might have triggered such behavior. However, later it was observed that this was a new species, and this spider was unlike all the others, and it only does its cartwheeling when trying to get away from a predator. Dog walks on water. We don't know what this dog was thinking, but he sure did surprise all the humans with his supernatural ability to walk on the water. Every single person in the party was just left shaken. It almost seems like something out of the movie The Secret Life of Pets. Do you think it could be based on a true story? Talking raven. Ravens are incredible beings and are considered to be one of the smartest birds. But one quality of theirs makes them more special than anyone else, and that is the way they can imitate human voices.
Hi. Hi. Good bird.
For instance, this clip shows a couple recording a raven perched on a stone, then try to make the bird imitate them, but at first, it doesn't seem to care. But then, all of a sudden, the raven starts repeating what they say.
You alright, man? I'm alright, you alright?
It even says, "I'm alright."
I'm alright, you alright? You alright? I'm alright.
A poop fest. If you think penguins are just fluffy birds just walking here and there in the coldest regions on the Earth, well, you're wrong, because these penguins are actually having way more fun than any of us. Just that their style of having fun is a little unusual, because what they do love is to poop over one another. Now, I know, it might sound gross and you might go all ew hearing this, but they enjoy it a lot. And who are we to judge, right? Elephant steals food. Humans and animals have been living together for decades, and this year-long relation has led to us understanding each other pretty much. For instance, take the elephant as an example. Years and years after passing the same road, he has come to know that a truck passes the same road every day with lots of sugarcane. So, what did the elephant decide to do? He decided to take a shortcut to get food and steal from the truck whenever he gets the chance to. Ice balls. These tourists were out looking and admiring the natural beauty when one of them discovered this strange thing happening. He found a waterfall where the water was turning into perfectly round ice balls.
Ice balls.
Don't they just look perfect? And if you're thinking of hitting a friend with it, don't play with them or use them as weapons, because they'll hurt. A strong bug. Bugs are often thought of as tiny creatures that anyone can easily squash, aren't they? However, this particular bug defies that stereotype and proves that size doesn't always equate to weakness. Its grip was one of the most powerful I have ever seen, clinging to the machine with an unyielding force that seemed to say, "Go ahead and try to break free." Isn't that truly remarkable? A grateful kangaroo. This kangaroo was stuck and had come to the conclusion that he cannot do anything about his situation and needs the help of humans. That is why he did not resist or punch the men who came to help him. Instead, after getting saved and safely on the land, he stood there, calmly waiting for the humans to shake his hand.
Oh, he's thanking ya.
Such bizarre creatures. Not especially friendly, but impossible not to love. A sea lion. So this photographer thought she'd get some cool shots of these seals up close by laying low on the ground. But one of the seals spotted her and decided to check out what's going on. Next thing you know, this huge baby elephant seal is flopping over to investigate. And before she knows it, she's getting squished. Apparently, the seal weighed over 100 kilograms. But the best part is, she and her husband couldn't stop laughing even though she was flattened like a pancake. Meerkats. Have you seen this video where a photographer was trying to capture some pictures of meerkats in their natural habitat? Well, the meerkats were not too happy being ignored, and they decided to check out the photographer instead. They climbed up on his head, back, and even his camera. These moments were called magic moments by the BBC, and we totally get why. Cartwheeling dolphin. This video features a man showing off his cartwheeling skills in front of a dolphin enclosure. At first, one curious dolphin tried to imitate him, but gave up after one attempt. But then another dolphin arrived and was totally into it. She mimicked every single cartwheel the man did, as if she was trying to impress him. I mean, who knew? Maybe the dolphin did get a crush on the man, right?
This is so cool! This is... Oh my god.
Chimp washing cloth. Be it monkeys, chimps, or gorillas, they are all said to be the most intelligent animals on Earth. And they imitate humans almost perfectly. For instance, see this one chimp who was recorded by a camera washing a cloth. Then it cleaned its hands and face with it. The caretakers had no idea where the animal had picked up this habit. According to them, no one ever did anything like that in front of the chimp. But then, where did he learn that? Lion and deer. Take a look at this unlikely pair taking a leisurely walk through the woods. It's a lion and a deer. Can you imagine? This trail cam clip is truly special, considering lions are notorious predators and rulers of the jungle. Yet here we witness a deer fearlessly following a lion, as if they're old chums or something. Who knows what really happens in the animal world? But one thing is certain. This video is guaranteed to brighten your day and put a smile on your face. A caecilian. What you're seeing right here might look like a worm to you, but just look at its fang-type teeth and the whole head. This is not a worm, folks. It is called a caecilian, and these are amphibians. Yup, just like frogs. They just lack arms and legs. But as they lack, their nature made them the only amphibians to have fangs. Fishing cat. Have you ever heard of a fishing cat? No, it's not a cat that likes to go fishing with a rod and reel. These adorable felines are the only ones in the world that specialize in catching fish. While other cats may nibble on a fish occasionally, these guys are pros at it. Found in South Asia, fishing cats are known for their unique hunting style. They dive face first into the water to ambush their prey. Turtle helps turtle. This video shows two turtles hanging out together, when suddenly one of them flips over and can't get back on its feet. But what happens next is truly heartwarming. The other turtle comes to the rescue and uses its head to push and help the struggling one roll back over. This behavior has been seen among turtles a lot of times. When one rolls over the other, one comes running to help. Chimp sweeps floor. This amazing chimp was seen sweeping the floor in his cage with a broom. It's incredible, right? According to his caretaker, the chimp learned this behavior by simply watching them sweep the floor. Apparently, she's usually the one cleaning up the enclosure, but this clever chimp decided to lend a hand. A friendly deer. This man was sitting in the woods minding his own business when this little guy decided to come up to him and give some company. What did he want in return? Just some scratches under his neck. That is all the payment needed for such nice company. And look at that cute face. Smart fish. Every time I hear about catfish, they're always doing something wild. Now in India, these slippery swimmers are taking to land and learning how to walk. Don't they have enough space in the vast ocean? Apparently not, as they venture onto land in search of grub. I don't know about you, but to me it's kind of freaky to see so many of them scurrying about. What a strange sight. Sloths. If you thought sloths were nothing but lazy critters, prepare to have your mind blown. Because it turns out they can move pretty darn fast when they want to. I mean, check out the footage of those little guys attacking those humans with lightning speed. Honestly, it's probably best to give them their space and let them do their sloth thing without disturbing them. Who knew these seemingly laid-back animals had such a surprising burst of energy in them? Weird creature in woods. While on their routine bike ride along steep tracks, a group of bikers encountered a terrifying experience that would haunt them forever. As they ventured deeper into the forest, a strange humanoid creature suddenly emerged from the side of the track and quickly started running away. The sight of the creature caused one of the bikers to lose control and fall off his bike. Shocked, the biker with the camera attempted to chase after the creature, but to his surprise, it vanished into thin air, leaving him bewildered. A friendly seal. As Vincent Vajera was enjoying a leisurely fishing trip off the coast of California, he got an unexpected visitor, a friendly seal who decided to hop aboard his kayak. Initially, Vincent was a bit startled, but he quickly realized that the seal just wanted a hug. The adorable creature snuggled up to Vincent and refused to leave, creating a heartwarming moment that was caught on camera.
Here's my new friend. He jumped aboard out at the bridge.
Despite several attempts to coax the seal back into the water, the little guy just wanted to stay and hang out with his new friends. A mermaid. Check out this crazy footage captured by some guys in Israel. They managed to catch what looks like a real-life mermaid on camera. The quality isn't great, but you can totally see the creature chilling on a rock before diving back into the water when it notices the guys creeping up.
Oh my god! What is that?
Do you think this thing was the real deal or just some kind of hoax? We want to hear your thoughts. A beluga whale's crush. If you think you're the only one crushing hard on all those Korean oppas, well, you're wrong, because it isn't just us humans, but these beluga whales too who love Korean men. This beluga whale has such a big crush on her trainer that it refuses to kiss anyone else but him. And waits all day for just him to come to her and play with her. The other two males have to be separated from her because they like her so much that she finds them annoying. A close call. This guy was out in the wilderness filming a video, just minding his own business, when all of a sudden, he sees something bolting towards him like a bat out of hell. And guess what? It's a freaking mountain lion! Yeah, you heard me right. This guy is staring down a big, wild apex predator. But you know what's even crazier? He manages to narrowly escape like a boss. This dude had a seriously close call.
No, you taste, dude.
But he lives to tell the tale, and we're all glad he made it out in one piece. Woman helps kangaroo. This little guy had his hands burnt in a forest fire and didn't know what to do. So he came to the humans for help. And lucky for him, this kind woman was there to lend a hand. It's incredible how calm and trusting the kangaroo is while the woman tends to his wounds. Bear chases snowboarder. So this girl was snowboarding as usual, but then something unexpected happened to her. She was singing a song while getting on her board, and once ready, she started riding. Suddenly, she noticed a glimpse of a bear chasing her from behind, but she didn't fully comprehend what was going on. Thankfully, the girl was quick enough to escape the bear and unknowingly saved her life. A weird creature. This weird little thing was recorded deep underwater, transforming into different shapes. The researchers, the people on the internet, in fact, every single person who saw this was shocked to his core, wondering what this creature could have been and what other superpowers it might hold. Can this be an alien? I mean, I can't help but wonder, you know? An unusual friendship. An incredible video aired on an Indian news channel featuring the most mind-blowing thing ever. A leopard visited a cow every night, and they had their own secret friendship going on while the humans snoozed. Upon investigation, it was discovered that the cow had taken care of the leopard when it was a baby, and now the leopard was not ready to let go of its caregiver. How sweet is that? A bizarre fish. So these scientists saw a super weird fish and were totally confused. But then something crazy happened. The fish suddenly shrunk its mouth down really fast, and everyone was shocked. It turns out that the fish is called a gulper eel, and it has a special kind of mouth that can puff up to eat big things. This fish is really interesting because of its cool mouth and the way it moves around. Overall, it's pretty amazing. A mouse deer. The secrets hidden in the deep forest seems endless, and we never know what we might find. Recently, a trail camera in Vietnam caught a glimpse of a rare two-tone mouse deer that scientists thought had vanished 30 years ago. It was strolling around leisurely as if it owned the place. It's amazing that some of these unique animals have managed to escape hunters and predators, giving them a chance to flourish in their natural environment. Flying snakes. Have you ever heard of flying snakes? Yeah, you heard that right. Flying snakes. A viral video making the rounds on the internet recently showed these slithering creatures taking to the skies. But don't worry, they're not flapping their wings or anything. They're actually gliding through the air. These incredible creatures, known as Chrysopelia, have the ability to contort their bodies and flatten their ribs to cover a significant distance after launching themselves into the air. It's an amazing feat that allows them to travel between trees with ease. Who knew snakes could fly? A pelican. This pelican was recorded by a man trying to eat a capybara. I mean, we know and I know that he knows that the capybara is too big for him, but no, that won't stop him from doing that. And then he is just left all embarrassed because he did not succeed. A dinosaur. Even though the video is made by an amateur and we don't know who made it, it's perfect for our list. Can you imagine that there's a pterosaur flying in the sky? We know about pterosaurs because of fossils in movies, but we can't see them anymore. But some lucky people saw one and filmed it. I'm happy we have the video. Do you think it's real or just for attention? An embarrassed gator. Most folks would bolt to the side of an alligator, but not these guys. This couple not only keeps one as a pet, but also knows how to make it blush. When the gator struggled to chomp down some grub, it got bashful and decided to give up and take a dip in the water instead. Aw, poor fella. Lazy ducks. A group of folks caught some ducks being super chill. Even when the water dragged them toward the brink, they were like, nah, whatever. Everyone was freaked out, but little did they know that these feathered friends were just messing around. As soon as they got close to the edge, they flapped their wings and flew to safety. Sneaky ducks. Crab builds its house. Check out this super cool video of a crab making its very own sand and water home. It's not every day you get to see something so unique and amazing, and it's mind-blowing to watch how the crab constructs its shelter with such accuracy and speed. By building its cozy little house, the crab can keep itself safe and hidden from any danger lurking around. Deer eating squirrel. Have you ever noticed that when people think no one is watching, they tend to do the most bizarre things? Well, apparently the same goes for deer too. Recently, I witnessed a deer chowing down on a meaty snack when it thought no humans or cameras were around to catch it in the act. This made me rethink my whole perception of deer. I used to think of them as peaceful grass-eating creatures that kept to themselves, but now I'm not so sure. A baby dinosaur. Apparently, a baby dinosaur or something that looks like it was spotted running around the city on CCTV footage. It's got us all wondering, could it be possible that dinosaurs still exist? I mean, how crazy would that be? I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. Do you think it's legit or just a prank? Swimming gator. Whether it's alligators or crocodiles, we've always seen them as fierce predators. But have you ever wondered what these reptiles do when they think no one's watching? Well, picture this. A gator lazily floating around in a pool, seemingly enjoying the refreshing water. It's almost like they're having a chill moment, just vibing with themselves. Seeing them like this, it's hard not to find them kinda cute, right? Red crab's migration. On Christmas Island in the Indian Ocean, a spectacular natural phenomenon takes place every year. Millions of red crabs embark on an epic journey from the forest to the coast to mate. This journey begins during the rainy season and is protected by park rangers who block off roads and construct temporary fences along the migration path. As the crabs reach the coast, they engage in a frenzied mating ritual before the females lay up to 10,000 eggs each. The island becomes a sea of red as the crabs cover the landscape, creating a breathtaking and unforgettable sight. A witch. This spooky video was recorded in Mexico in 2006. You can see a mysterious figure flying through the sky on a broomstick. Some people think it's a witch. The locals have been talking about these witches for ages, but nobody had any proof until this footage was taken. The witch's flight looks a bit shaky, so maybe she's a new witch still practicing her flying skills. The subscribers pick. This image was taken from a video which shows some researchers doing something strange. You can see a group of people dressed in white and yellow on a deserted beach. They seem to be picking up something from the ground and putting it on a stretcher before taking it away. And of course, we can even see the tail of a creature in the video, which only points in one direction. A mermaid! How crazy is that? Adorable wolves. Wolves are always considered to be the ferocious, the dangerous, the stay-away type animals. But these wolves, I don't want to stay away from them. Looking at the way they're all cuddling and kissing each other, don't they look like the most adorable beings right here? What do you guys think? A ghost. Let's check out this clip caught on a home security camera outside a house. You can hear faint footsteps before a blurry figure appears and moves across the screen. Since the video quality is poor, it's hard to make out any details. Is it a prowler or could it be something paranormal? Upon closer inspection, the figure seems to briefly disappear when it reaches the center of the screen. This leaves us wondering if it's just a camera glitch or if there's something more sinister going on. A chupacabra. These two men kept hearing strange voices from their backyard and eventually decided to go check. But what they did not know was that they were in for a surprise. A huge monster was seen running to hide from them. But that did not stop the friends there. They had to go check, and that is when we see the terrifying face. The video ends right there, so let's just hope both of them are okay. An alien. The folks who were used to discovering fishes on the shore were taken aback when they stumbled upon a strange human-like creature that had washed upon the beach. It appeared to be a miniature version of a human, with a slimy coating all over its body and small limbs. The more they examined it, the more it mystified them, especially when they observed it breathing and slightly shifting its eerie body. What do you think it was? A creepy being. While a farmer was out with his goats and cows, he sensed that something was not okay. So he took his camera out and started checking the area. And what he found was this creepy black creature with big horns at the very edge of his property. Even though the creature did not look interested in coming near or harming the man, it was still good that he only recorded the thing and did not try to go near. An angel. This incredible video was taken in Jakarta, Indonesia on September 11, 2011. You can see a radiant winged being that looks like an angel descending from the sky and touching down on the ground before taking off again. When people saw this video, they started calling the figure the Angel of Jakarta. Some people even thought it might be a guardian angel sent down. However, there's always a chance that this might be fake. A strange woman. In 2016, a strange video surfaced online showing a woman shopping at a mall. Suddenly, an item falls behind her, and she puts it back on the shelf. Then she starts acting weirdly, as if something is controlling her. She drops her shopping and writhes on the floor, screaming loudly. Her screams even push the onlookers away. As the man in black tries to hold her down, the woman calms down, but then lets out a final scream, which makes objects in the store move and the security camera flicker. A mystery light. This video was filmed by a guy from Mexico. Some people who have watched it are saying it's one of the most clear sightings of a UFO ever caught on camera. Against a totally dark sky, you can see a weird blue circle that looks like it's morphing into different shapes. Apparently, this man had this strange thing hovering over his house for about a half an hour before it vanished. What do you think it might be? A waterbender. Have you seen this video that's been going viral lately? It's really interesting. Nobody knows where it's from, but it seems to have been filmed in Africa. In the video, a group of people are gathered around a woman standing in the water, and it looks like some sort of ritual is taking place. But then something crazy happens. All of a sudden, the water recedes super fast, and the bay is completely dry where others are standing. People freaked out and said that the shaman caused the water to shift using some kind of divine power. But nothing was ever explained by anyone. A witch. A bizarre figure dressed in white was spotted standing directly under the window of a house where the mother and her baby had been only moments before. It appeared as though the figure knew where the family was located. The incident left the woman feeling shaken and terrified, with no logical explanation for what had just happened. Some say it was a witch, while others think it was something else. Still, it remains a mystery. A levitating creature. Whether it was an extraterrestrial being or simply an optical illusion, this video is fascinating to watch. A large group of individuals gathered to witness this bizarre creature, which appeared to be levitating in midair while wearing wings on its arms and feet. Although it resembled a mermaid or an alien, it actually looked more like a boy. However, the reality behind the levitation was not as mysterious as it seemed. In fact, it was just a simple trick involving thin strings that helped the individual hover in the air. A UFO. A pilot was on his usual routine, flying a plane from one city to another. But what he did not know was that he was about to come across a sight he had ever imagined, a UFO. Now, for those of you thinking it was just a balloon, those don't fly forwards, they go upwards. And also, balloons do not have this kind of speed. So, nope, that wasn't a balloon. To me, it totally looks like a UFO. Bigfoot. In this video, Rick Dyer, a self-proclaimed Bigfoot tracker, claimed to have killed the elusive creature. The video shows a tense moment where the massive beast attacks the man holding the camera. Afterwards, Dyer provides a few pictures, claiming they're of the Bigfoot he killed. So do you think it was really a Bigfoot that he killed, or was he just lying straight away? A cheetah. This clip features an American tourist who got an unexpected guest on a safari in Tanzania. Well, Britton Hayes from Seattle got a special visitor in the form of a cheetah who jumped right into the back seat of his vehicle. And if that wasn't wild enough, another cheetah decided to join in on the fun. Poor Hayes was frozen with fear, praying he wouldn't become dinner for the big cats. Weird sea creatures. A few years ago, there was a video that became really popular online. It showed a strange sea creature that some people had caught and filmed. A lot of folks believe it's the real deal and pretty creepy too. The creature looks a bit like a sea hare, but with some serious sharp teeth inside its mouth. Honestly, I don't know what it was up to, but it definitely gave me the heebie-jeebies. An open grave. While paying a visit to his loved ones in the cemetery, a guy stumbled upon something peculiar. He noticed a grave that was partially open and seemed like it was being destroyed. As he went closer, he was taken aback to see the remains of a body buried there, including a tall skeleton that was around 1.8 meters tall. But that wasn't all. There were other skulls and bones inside the grave, which hinted at some sort of witchcraft. However, nothing was ever really explained or cleared up. A mountain witch. This video features a man named Hassan, who is an explorer of witches. He voluntarily searches for witches, and in this particular video, he visits a witch mountain to find one. To his surprise, he actually spots a witch dressed in black clothes and holding a stick, which seems to be made from an animal skull. Initially, she was sitting at the cave entrance, but when she saw the YouTuber, she went inside and started mumbling some spells. Suddenly, a stone hit Hassan's face, which was a signal for him to back off as the witch didn't want to be disturbed. A clingy octopus. Imagine you're out scuba diving, and when you surface for air, you discover an octopus that won't let go of your back. In a recent video, a diver experienced this unexpected surprise and was trying everything he could to shake off the clingy cephalopod. Despite moving in different directions, the octopus wouldn't budge, and the diver started feeling uncomfortable with its sharp beak and sticky suckers. Perhaps the octopus just wanted a hug. What do you think? A ghost. As the driver was cruising down the Queensland Highway, little did he know that he was in for a surprise. As he continued driving, he spotted something unusual on the side of the road. To his shock, he and other onlookers saw a ghostly figure standing in the middle of the road. The ghost, which appeared to be a pure white child, was just a few inches above the ground. The eerie sighting quickly gained fame and was dubbed the Ghost Child by many. However, Some skeptics argued that it might have been just a human baby who happened to wander in the middle of the road. A sea lion. Okay, so I've got a creepy story for you. A girl was taking a break near the harbor when, out of nowhere, a sea lion popped up, grabbed her, and dragged her into the water. Her family and bystanders freaked out, but luckily, a brave dude jumped in and rescued her. It was a shocking incident because sea lions usually don't attack people without a reason. The flashlight fish. The video showcases the mesmerizing flashlight fish, which are found in the deep waters of the Pacific Ocean. These unique creatures have special light-emitting organs located beneath their eyes that give them an otherworldly appearance. The lights can be used to attract prey or communicate with other fish. The video captures the fish swimming in schools, creating an incredible visual spectacle that looks like something out of a sci-fi movie. Watching these underwater titans move and glow in the dark depths of the ocean is truly a sight to behold. Flipping iceberg. These thrill seekers thought it would be a cool idea to climb a giant iceberg, but things quickly went south when a massive chunk of ice rolled over on top of them. Talk about a chilling experience. Luckily, they managed to escape with their lives, but let this be a lesson. Sometimes it's best to just stay on solid ground. Don't you guys agree? Strange lights. This video was recorded by some fishermen out on the Pacific Ocean, and it shows these really strange lights in the sky. They might be a group of lights or something, and they seem to be moving in unusual ways. Some people who had watched the video were convinced that these lights were actually UFOs, but no one had been able to provide a logical explanation for what they might actually be. It's totally a mystery till today. Millions of dead fish. Have you heard about the latest buzz in Australia's outback? Recently, a shocking video surfaced showcasing the aftermath of an unprecedented die-off of fish in a river. Due to extreme floods and hot weather, millions of fish have been left to rot in the river, resulting in a foul smell and a severe ecological crisis. However, there's some good news. Contractors have been hired to remove the rotting fish from the river. Crocodile mummies. Crocs, whether they're dead or alive, will always give people the creeps. While excavating ancient tombs, researchers stumbled upon 12 crocs buried in the soil. From a distance, they looked like they were still alive, with their textured skin appearing fresh and their teeth still intact in their jaws. It was a bit unnerving, as it seemed like they could open their jaws at any moment. The researchers were amazed when they discovered that the crocodiles had been buried for 2,500 years, yet were still in almost pristine condition. A cuttlefish. Have you heard of cuttlefish or cuttles? These little guys are actually fish found in deep parts of the ocean, and they're known to be highly toxic. But let's not focus on their dangerous side for now. Instead, let's talk about how incredibly unique and fascinating they are. Just take a look at their mesmerizing colors and reflections. It's no wonder they've been nicknamed the disco cuttlefish. And that's not all. They even have a way of hypnotizing their prey before attacking. It's truly a wonder to witness. A fire tree. We're all used to the idea that tree twigs and branches are handy for starting fires. But hold on to your hats, because this video is going to blow your mind. It shows the inside of a tree that caught on fire, and people think it was caused by a lightning bolt heating up the sappy insides, which conduct heat really well. Or if you're feeling mystical, maybe supernatural beings sparked up this awesome fire for their own bonfire. What do you think? Leave a comment below and share your thoughts. An elephant. Sometimes animals can be big, frightening, and downright terrifying. But every now and then, they need a little help from us humans. Take this elephant for example. Poor thing was shot right in the head and was bleeding out. Obviously, elephants don't have a clue how to fix bullet wounds. So he approached some nearby humans, being careful not to scare them, and showed them the bullet lodged in his skull. Thankfully, the doctors acted quickly and did everything in their power to remove the bullet and treat the infection. Petting a great white. The shark saw the fisherman in the shallow water and decided to attack. But to the shark's surprise, the man did something unexpected. He petted the shark when it came out of the water, showing no fear of the shark's strong jaws. The fisherman even gently stroked the shark's side for a while before sending it back into the water. It's hard to tell if the shark enjoyed the encounter or if it was just looking for a chance to bite the man's hand. Woman on a tree. Nope, she wasn't a ghost. She was a real woman, standing on top of a fig tree and freaking everyone out with her creepy moves. People were shocked when they saw her standing on a delicate branch of the tree, dressed all in white. They called her the Spooky Lady because they couldn't understand how she was able to perform such stunts without any visible support. However, when she was rescued, it turned out that there was nothing supernatural about her behavior. Snakeheads. So there was this wild incident where a farmer found a snake's head in his backyard, and it was still alive. I mean, can you imagine that? The head was moving. It's pretty insane, but apparently, snakes are different from other animals. When they lose their heads, they don't need a lot of oxygen to keep their brain going. So the head can actually survive for hours without the body. Crazy, right? Spinning dolphins. These dolphins are impressing everyone with their athletic abilities, jumping high and spinning 7 times in the air. And if that wasn't enough, they can swim at an incredible speed of 200 miles per hour and cover long distances in a day. Recently, a spy dolphin captured footage of these playful creatures having a great time off the coast. But it's not just their stunts that make them unique. They're also known for their intelligence. To avoid predators, these dolphins never fully sleep and always keep their brains partially awake. Humans in cage. Do you consider yourself brave? Would you be willing to step into a cage in the middle of a jungle where lions are roaming nearby, just to get a closer look and better look at these magnificent beasts? There's actually a tourist spot in Harrismith, South Africa, where they'll put you in an enclosure and leave you in the midst of lions. In a video, you can see an elderly couple sitting calmly inside the cage, while lions are roaming around and even sitting on top of the enclosure as visitors take pictures. The super cat. You might think of cats as grumpy creatures, but don't let that fool you. They actually care about us as much as we care about them. Just check out this clip where a cat saves a toddler's life. The baby was headed straight for the stairs, but the cat sprang into action and rushed over to prevent a nasty fall. What a brave kitty. And to make sure the baby stayed safe, the cat even sat guard at the bottom of the stairs to keep the little one from trying again. How sweet is that? An ostrich fight. Did you know that ostriches are the biggest and heaviest birds out there? Even though they're usually harmless and don't bite much, we found a video of one going berserk and attacking a man. A group of guys were just hanging out when suddenly the ostrich went after one of them. Made the bird so angry in the first place, doesn't it? A python. So let's tell you about this wild incident that went down in Thailand. One mom, Thanapum Laken, who's 42, woke up one morning to find their dead kitten in her house with bite marks all over its body. When she went to her son's room to investigate, she found a massive 10-foot python just chilling under the bed. Crazy, right? Well, she didn't waste any time and called for help, and luckily, the authorities were able to catch the python safely. Lekian thinks it's a miracle that her son wasn't sleeping in that room that night, and believes his guardian angel was watching over him. The morning glory clouds. Have you seen these amazing clouds that look like a giant snake in the sky? They're actually a rare meteorological event that only happens in certain parts of the world. This dude managed to capture them over Lake Michigan in the USA. Basically, it happens when the air is really humid in the early morning, and a cloud forms at the front of it, creating the leading edge of a cylinder. Pretty cool, right? A rat temple. Did you know that in India there's a temple dedicated entirely to rats? It's called the Karni Mata Temple, and it's situated in the city of Bikaner, right in the middle of the Thar Desert. Can you believe that over 25,000 rats call this place home? According to locals, every rat born there is believed to embody the soul of a family member, and they are considered sacred. People even drink the milk left behind by the rats after they take a sip. As much as I love dairy, I don't think I'd be able to handle that rat-infused milk. I might just turn into a hardcore vegan. The subscriber's pick. This image is taken from a video that went viral a few years back. At first, we see a car driving on a dark road, and out of nowhere, a bunch of guys dressed like Charlie Chaplin pop up. It's super eerie how they all stop and stare into the car, especially with that weird lighting in the background. And there's even a dude wearing a mask to make things even creepier. A scary shark encounter. This might be the closest close call with a white shark you'll be seeing here. The man with his friends was out diving, but seconds after he dived into the water, his friends started shouting, "Shark! Shark!" to him.
Shark! Shark!
He went under the water to see what it was, and there the white shark was swimming right beneath him. He tried swimming away as fast as he could, while continuously looking for the shark, and there it came again. This time straight towards the man, but somehow he actually made the shark turn the other way. Good thing it happened and the man came out of the water safely. Komodo dragon. The giant lizard that's basically a real-life dragon. These guys are massive. They're the largest living lizards in the world, and their venomous saliva is no joke. If they bite you, you could end up paralyzed or even dead. And let's not forget about those sharp claws and teeth. They're fierce predators that don't mess around. In fact, they've been known to attack and even kill humans who get too close. So if you ever find yourself in the presence of a Komodo dragon, just remember to keep your distance and give them the space they deserve. Otherwise, you might end up regretting it. Nile crocodile. If you ever find yourself face to face with a Nile crocodile in the wild, you better watch out. These big guys are not to be messed with. They are one of the largest crocodile species in the world and have a reputation for being quite aggressive. They've been known to attack humans and other animals without much warning. So it's best to keep your distance. Cone snail. This is a little guy that you might not expect to be dangerous. The cone snail. These colorful little snails might seem harmless, but don't let their size fool you. They pack a venomous punch that can cause paralysis and even death. I mean, talk about a small but mighty creature. So if you're ever strolling along the beach and come across a cone snail, be sure to admire it from a safe distance. After all, you never know what could be lurking beneath that pretty shell. King cobra. These guys are some of the deadliest snakes on the planet, and they can grow up to a whopping 18 feet long. That's longer than most cars, people! And let's not forget about their venom. It's no joke. If they bite you, you could end up with respiratory failure and possibly even death. So if you ever come across a king cobra in the wild, just remember to give them the space they deserve and admire them from a safe distance. After all, it's better to be alive and well than up close and personal with one of these deadly snakes. Blue-ringed octopus. This little dude may be small, but trust me, it's a ninja in disguise. Its venom is like a 1-2 punch that can knock you out and even kill you in just a matter of minutes. Those blue rings on its body may look cool, but they're actually a warning sign that says back off. If you see one of these guys while you're out swimming or diving, keep your distance and give it some space. But let's be real here. As dangerous as they may be, blue-ringed octopuses are still pretty fascinating creatures. Just don't let their small size fool you. They pack a deadly punch. Cassowary. The cassowary is usually known for its striking appearance, with its bright blue head and neck and a large bony protrusion on its head called a casque. However, these birds are also incredibly dangerous, with sharp claws on their feet that can cause serious injury or even death. Cassowaries are also known to be territorial and can become aggressive if they feel threatened. And when they do, get ready to run as fast as you can and as long as you can, because they will follow you as long as they can. Black mamba. Get ready to meet the Usain Bolt of the snake world, the black mamba. This slithery speedster is the fastest snake in the world, and with a name like Mamba, you know it's not something to mess with. So if you ever find yourself face to face with a black mamba, just remember to give them their space and back away slowly. Trust me, you don't want to challenge this sprinting serpent to a race. Mosquito. You know those pesky bugs that buzz around your ear and leave you itching and scratching all over? Yeah, those are mosquitoes, and don't let their small size fool you. These little bloodsuckers are responsible for more human deaths than any other animal on the planet. How, you ask? By transmitting deadly diseases like malaria, dengue fever, and Zika virus. Trust me, you don't want to mess with these tiny terrors. So next time you hear that high-pitched whine, grab the bug spray and protect yourself from the deadliest animal on Earth, the mosquito. Stonefish. If you thought getting a paper cut was painful, wait until you hear about the stonefish. This little fish may not look like much, but it packs a punch with its venomous spines that can cause excruciating pain, paralysis, and get this, the venom is so potent that victims have been known to beg for amputation just to stop the pain. So next time you're out snorkeling, be sure to watch where you step, or you might end up with a nasty surprise from the deadliest fish in the world, the stonefish. Brown recluse spider. This 8-legged terror is a master of disguise, blending in with its surroundings and striking when you least expect it. Its venom is like a slow-acting time bomb, silently eating away at your flesh until it's too late to stop it. And don't be fooled by their size. These tiny terrors can bring down a full-grown adult with just one bite. So watch where you step and check your shoes before putting them on, because the brown recluse could be waiting to strike at any moment. Stay safe, my friends. Great white shark. You know what's scarier than a shark in a horror movie? A real-life great white shark. These bad boys can grow up to 20 feet long and have a bite force that can crush bones. And let's not forget about their famous razor-sharp teeth. One bite from these guys can be deadly. So the next time you're swimming in the ocean, remember to keep your eyes peeled for the great white shark, the ultimate predator of the sea. Redback spider. These pesky little creatures are found all over Australia, and their bite can be a real pain. Their venom is no joke. It can make you feel like your whole body's on fire. And in some cases, it can even lead to death. That's why it's important to keep an eye out for these sneaky spiders and make sure you're not their next victim. But here's the thing. As much as we may dislike them, redback spiders are actually pretty fascinating creatures. They're part of the widow spider family, and their females are notorious for eating their male counterparts after mating. Talk about a bad breakup. Tiger shark. Check out the tiger shark, a big bad predator of the ocean. These bad boys have been known to attack humans and are one of the most dangerous sharks out there. With their razor-sharp teeth and incredible hunting abilities, they're a force to be reckoned with. If you see one in the water, it's best to give them plenty of space and let them do their thing. Cape buffalo. Africa's version of the Hulk. These big boys can weigh up to a whopping 2,000 pounds, making them one of the biggest and baddest creatures out there. And here's the thing, they're not afraid to throw down. They've been known to take on lions and even humans, and let me tell you, you don't want to mess with them. That's why they're also known as the Black Death. So if you ever find yourself face to face with one of these beasts, just remember to give them plenty of space and respect. Gila monster. This little dude might look like it's straight out of a sci-fi movie, but trust me, it's 100% real and 100% not to be messed with. Why? Because it's one of the only venomous lizards out there. That's right, this sneaky little guy packs a bite that can cause some serious pain and swelling. But here's where things get mysterious. Nobody really knows why it's venomous. Is it for hunting? Self-defense? Who knows? All we do know is that if you ever come across a Gila monster, it's best to give it some space. After all, you don't want to end up on the receiving end of a venomous bite from this cool but dangerous lizard. Poison dart frog. Get ready to meet the poison dart frog, the tiniest but deadliest amphibian out there. These little guys might look like they belong in a Disney movie with their bright colors, but don't be fooled by their cuteness. They're actually serving up a warning that says, "I dare you to mess with me." And you really shouldn't. You see, their skin secretes a venomous toxin that can knock you out cold faster than you can say ribbit. It's no wonder they're one of the most poisonous creatures on the planet. So if you ever come across a poison dart frog in the wild, do yourself a favor and stay far away. Trust me, you don't want to mess with these tiny but fierce frogs. Portuguese man-o'-war. This thing is like a freaky alien that was plopped in the ocean. It looks like a jellyfish, but it's actually a whole colony of different organisms working together, like some kind of underwater Voltron. But don't be fooled by its trippy colors and otherworldly appearance. Those tentacles can reach up to 165 feet long and pack a punch like Mike Tyson in his prime. Its venom can paralyze you and send you straight to Davy Jones's locker. So if you're ever out for a swim in the ocean and you see this bad boy floating around, I suggest you swim in the opposite direction. Trust me, you don't want to mess with this sea monster. Piranha. Piranhas are notorious for their sharp teeth and aggressive reputation. I mean, who hasn't seen those crazy movies where they go on a feeding frenzy and chomp through everything in sight? But the truth is, these fish are usually pretty chill, unless they feel threatened. Sure, they might look like they're straight out of a horror movie, but if you don't mess with them, they won't mess with you. That being said, it's still pretty nerve-wracking to swim in water where they live. I don't know about you, but I'll stick to the pool, thank you very much. Anaconda. This slithering serpent is one of the largest and most powerful snakes in the world, capable of crushing its prey with its deadly constriction abilities. And when I say large, I mean large. These bad boys can grow up to 30 feet long. While they mostly stick to snacking on animals like deer and capybaras, they have been known to take down humans who dare to venture into their territory. So if you ever find yourself face to face with an anaconda, be sure to give it plenty of space, unless you want to end up as its next snack. Bull shark. Move over, great white, because this creature is the real danger to humans. With its sneaky ways, the bull shark is a master of deception and can strike at any moment. Unlike other sharks, this beast prefers the shallow, freshwater areas where humans like to cool off. It lurks in the shadows, waiting for its next prey to come into view. And when it does, it strikes with a ferocity that is unmatched. So, the next time you venture into the murky waters, be on the lookout for the bull shark, for it is a creature of mystery and danger, lurking just beneath the surface, waiting for its next victim to cross its path. Saltwater crocodile. Alright folks, let's talk about one of the most rebel reptiles out there, the saltwater crocodile. This monster can grow up to a whopping 23 feet long and weigh over a ton. I mean, that's like having a car-sized croc swimming around in the water. And let's not forget those jaws. They're so strong they can literally crush bones and even metal. So if you're ever in the presence of a saltwater croc, just remember to keep your distance and give them the respect they deserve. Box jellyfish. Now let's talk about this deadliest but the prettiest creature ever. It is the box jellyfish. Now, don't be fooled by its delicate and almost see-through appearance. This thing is a silent killer. Its venom is so potent that it can cause heart failure and kill you in just a few minutes. So if you're ever out there in the ocean and spot a box jellyfish, swim the other way as fast as you can. Trust me, you don't want to mess with this deadly beauty. Hammerhead shark. The hammerhead shark has a head that looks like it was flattened with a hammer. But don't let their strange appearance fool you. These sharks are top predators in the ocean. They can sense prey with incredible accuracy, and their powerful jaws make short work of their meals. While they're not known for attacking humans, it's probably best to give them a wide berth just in case. Hippopotamus. The African river holds many secrets, but perhaps the most dangerous one lurks just beneath the surface. Beware the hippopotamus, for they may appear docile, but they are anything but. With a single snap of their powerful jaws, they can shatter bones and end lives in an instant. These massive beasts are responsible for more human deaths in Africa than any other large animal. Yet they remain shrouded in mystery. How can something so seemingly gentle be so deadly? Perhaps it is their ancient lineage, tracing back to a time when dinosaurs roamed the earth. Or maybe it is simply their fierce determination to protect their territory at all costs. Whatever the reason, one thing is certain: never underestimate the deadly nature of a hippopotamus. Pufferfish. Oh, the pufferfish. This little guy might look cute and harmless, but don't let its innocent appearance fool you. This fish is the Chuck Norris of the sea. It's a total spark plug. In some countries, it's even considered a delicacy. But let me tell you, it's not for the faint of heart. See, the pufferfish has organs that are filled with toxins that can take you down faster than a shot of tequila. One wrong move and you can end up paralyzed or even worse, dead. So if you're ever offered a bite of a pufferfish, make sure it's been prepared by a trained professional. Trust me, your life is worth more than a fancy meal. Blacktip reef shark. Blacktip reef shark. Don't let their size fool you. These little guys are tough cookies. They may be small, but they are sneaky predators that can attack humans, especially if you're hanging out in shallow waters. So if you're planning on going for a swim or a paddle in the ocean, keep your eyes peeled for these little guys. They might look harmless, but they have a reputation for being quite the troublemakers. But don't let that scare you too much. As long as you're aware of your surroundings and keep a safe distance from these sharks, you should be just fine. And who knows, you might even get lucky and catch a glimpse of one of these incredible creatures in its natural habitat. Australian funnel-web spider. If you're planning a trip to the land down under, beware of the Australian funnel-web spider. This arachnid is a real killer. With venom so potent, it can send you to the great beyond in just a matter of hours. And don't be fooled by its small size and cute little things. This spider packs a punch that will leave you gasping for air. So keep your eyes peeled and your spider sense tingling, because one wrong move and you could be in serious trouble. American crocodile. This is the American crocodile, a true titan of the reptilian world. The elusive creature can be found lurking in the shadows of both North and South America, patiently waiting for its prey to cross its path. With a set of jaws that could crush a steel beam like a toothpick, this beast is not to be trifled with. But there's something mysterious about this creature, something that draws us in and leaves us in awe. Perhaps it's the way it moves so gracefully through the water, or the way it can disappear in an instant, leaving no trace behind. Whatever it is, one thing is for sure. If you ever find yourself face to face with an American crocodile, you'll be in for one heck of a ride. Sydney funnel-web spider. Did you know that the Sydney funnel-web spider is basically the Australian funnel-web spider's BFF? And let me tell you, their venom is no joke. It can knock you out faster than a kangaroo bouncing on a trampoline. Plus, if you get bitten by one of these creepy crawlies, you could end up with respiratory failure or even die. So make sure you steer clear of these 8-legged critters if you happen to come across them. Safety first, folks. Elephants. The gentle giants that can turn into raging beasts. Now, I know we all love these intelligent and majestic creatures, but let's not forget they're also one of the biggest and most powerful animals on land. And when they feel threatened, they're not afraid to throw down. They've been known to attack and even kill humans who got too close to their turf. So if you're ever in the presence of an elephant, be sure to give them their space and show them the respect they deserve. Trust me, it's better to be safe than sorry when it comes to these big guys. Inland taipan. If you're not a fan of snakes, then you better steer clear of the inland taipan, mate. This snake is not to be messed with, as it's considered the most venomous snake in the world. Its venom is so deadly that it can cause multiple organ failure and can kill a human in less than an hour. Talk about fierce. Despite its fearsome reputation, the inland taipan is actually a pretty fascinating creature. It has an incredible sense of smell and can detect prey from miles away. Plus, its venom is being studied for its potential to help treat certain medical conditions. Who knew this lethal creature could have a softer side? The subscriber's pick. This image shows a huge predator of the world of water, with its weird, horrifying mask and tentacles showing. We also see a boat nearby comparing, which we can see how big the size of the creature is. But well, no matter how creepy this may look, it's not real. Instead, it is an image created through Photoshop. Still, with the ocean being only 3% discovered, who knows? Maybe this actually might be real too. What do you guys think about it? Black caiman. This crocodile is like the Hulk of the animal kingdom. It's one tough customer. And let me tell you, if you ever find yourself in its neck of the woods, you better watch your back. This bad boy has been known to attack humans, so you don't want to mess with it. I mean, just imagine coming face to face with a creature that's built like a tank, has jaws that could crush a car, and is just itching for a fight. Yeah, I think I'll pass on that one. So, if you're planning a trip to South America, make sure you steer clear of this feisty dude's territory. Well, that's all for today, guys. Thank you for watching the video. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon for getting updates related to our latest videos.